Welcome, everybody. We are here. The finals for season 13. We have Spectre Gaming, the number one seed coming into the playoffs against PUDS, something Dolphin something. I always get it wrong and mistake them with another organization, and I am very sorry, who also have Dolphins and also used to use pods.
Rod, those are the
But this,
Ducks.
dang it.
All jokes aside, it has been a fun season all the way through, but there is no doubt that these two are the absolute best teams that BTL has to offer. We're going to have a fun match here tonight.
I definitely believe so. We intend to have fun in all aspects, but we have seen through these playoffs absolutely incredible series. Some of them closer than others, but all of them have been very entertaining. And having not been introduced, but having already corrected me on something I was off on, we have Aulz here to tell you all the smart things going on. And I, of course, am your best friend, little Rodney, aka the old sad boy. So, with no information at all for this game, how do you see the series going?
This one is going to be close. Of course, in the regular season, we did see these two teams fight, and Spectre was the one to fall. So the Ducks have history on their side. However, this is
Lake
also a
didn't play
Ducks
that
team
game,
that
right?
lost to the Fantastic Four in Zerathai.
But Lake
So,
didn't play that game, if I remember correctly. Lake was not the top laner for Spectre at that time.
you may be correct. I don't think I had the joy of casting that game, unfortunately, so I do not remember entirely clearly here.
Uh, I am 80% sure Lake did not play that game, but I am 100% sure draft is already starting. We have immediately from Spectre, we get a Renata ban, and it looks like they're going to be a Karthus ban as well.
Yeah, we did see the return of the AP jungler for Nerubius last week during semifinals. Played out of his mind for 3 games straight, so not surprising that the Karthus is being taken away here.
Yeah, I would not want to see that again, and definitely wouldn't want to see that on the other team, so understandable. As for PUDS, they are going to go ahead and ban out the Lucian and ban out the Sejuani. I don't know that Sejuani is the best targeted ban, unless you are aiming at that Sejuani in the jungle. What we've seen, there it is. Looks like it's going to be Lake on the Aatrox, which I think Lake has played basically every game it has been available. Finishing out the bans, though, is going to be the Gangplank ban from Spectre and a Yuumi ban from PUDS.
Yeah, neither of these ban groups are particularly surprising. A lot of targeted stuff here. The Gangplank, of course, Captain Holden's favorite champion in the top lane, has played out of his mind on it, trying to keep learning and crit from being standout problems in the bot lane. For Spectre, PUD's trying to take that power away. Very smart of them. Swagasm has loved these tank junglers. However, I'm not sure that Sejuani is necessarily the one that they need to be most afraid of here. I don't think
Yeah.
that Swagasm is going to be the issue if Spectre wins these games.
Not to take away from Swag, but I agree. Additionally, like you said, I don't think Sejuani is the best tank jungler we've seen him on. But we do get a Varus pick and a Gragas for PUDS. I do wonder, because Gragas flexes and everyone knows I love draft shenanigans. If that's going to be a top lane Gragas into the Aatrox, that would be my guess, but not 100% sure. We do get Spectre picking up the Hecarim and the Lulu. So yeah, it's going to be Swag on the Hecarim. The Hecarim Aatrox, I believe we saw it last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was strong. Maybe separately, but now they're together, but both of them strong. We do get a Mordekaiser ban for PUDS as well, or pick, excuse me, for PUDS with an Felios ban. So it looks like the bans are going to be from PUDS targeted on learning.
Yeah, now it is worth noting that Learning, at least at time of registration, was one of 2 Masters players in this league. does appear, based on what we're seeing in client, that he has fallen to Diamond 2. However, still one of the scariest players on the Rift. Pretty likely that that Mordekaiser for the Ducks is going to be going to Nerubius, as the Gragas does tend to be Captain Holden's backup pick when the Gangplank, rather, is not available. So that's the top side of the map pretty much locked down for the Ducks here. Two major question marks are going to be what's Landrin on and what's Fun Phoenix on. And with the Victor being taken away, that pool for Landrin is starting to get a little bit pinched.
Yeah, and I think it's got to be another mid lane ban here coming out from Spectre. But we do get a Kaisa ban. PUDS again, not I maybe be being proven wrong. It looks like it's actually going to be a Thresh ban from Spectre. Not going to let Fun Phoenix get the Swiss Army knife of supports.
No, and that is one of Fun Phoenix's favorite champions to play, so it's not surprising that it's being taken away here, especially with a Varus for Slicin'. Not the most mobile of champions, not the most peel in that kit either, just the Chains of Corruption, and if that misses, the Varus is in trouble, so taking the Thresh away means that Fun Phoenix has to go on something a little more purely defensive like this Janna here.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've all seen in our games and games we've watched and just on the internet what happens when a Varus is forced to stand still and a Hecarim gets to move fast, which will likely be the case with the Lulu. Oh, they faked me out. They were showing the Lulu Sivir, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a really fast Hecarim. But instead, it's going to be a Syndra pick for Kush. We have seen that Syndra throughout playoffs, and it is painful, but only for the other team.
Yeah, Syndra, after the mini rework that happened about 3 or 4 patches ago at this point, lost a lot of that early game pressure, so it will give Landrin a bit of a reprieve if he wants to pick something scaling here for the side of the Ducks. However, as this Syndra moves towards the late game, as she gets those shards, she gets scarier and scarier, up to that 100 shard point where she gets a 15% max health execute on her ult. It's healthy.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't see it coming until it kills you is the best way to put it, because you'll have had a fight and been like, she does damage, but not murder damage, and then next thing you know, you're like, wait a second, something's different. I don't like it. But we do get the Sivir pick, excuse me, for learning. So yes, that is going to be a Hecarim go fast, go real fast action going on for those ganks into that Varus. So Janna has to be on point with those tornadoes and the knockups. But it's going to be a Corki pick for Landrin. Corki generally able to, especially after hitting 6, farm safely and outside the range of most of Syndra's kit. There, you can still get hit with Scatter the Weak at the rocket range, but it's a lot harder to hit it at max range from someone who only has to look for one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot that this Corki can do if he gets to scale, and having the Syndra is generally a safe choice here. Looks like we are going ahead and getting into client draft here real quick. Looks like these guys are itching to get onto the Rift.
Yeah, definitely someone wants their chip. Maybe everyone wants their chip, but we will find out who wants it the most. That said, I would like to go back to the first pick, which worries me because prior to last series, Lake has basically been able to play Aatrox whenever he wanted and played it very, very well, to the point that I think the last series we casted, it was just banned every game because they were like, we don't want to see this Aatrox. We don't care. We don't care that everything else is falling apart. This Aatrox will not be available. Has PUDS made an error in making that Aatrox available?
Well, they seem to think that Captain Holden is going to be able to take care of it with this Gragas. And the Gragas has been a fairly safe pick for Captain Holden here throughout the season, really, as a backup when the Gangplank isn't available. However, there's a large difference, in my opinion, between Spectre and PUDS and the other 6 teams that have been in Black Twitch League. These 2 teams have been consistently at the highest level. So I'm a little concerned that, as you were saying, Captain Holden's going to get a little bit more punished than he thought he would be with this Aatrox.
Yeah, and that I think that also is going to kind of fall back to what we were discussing, and I still haven't been able to confirm that they also, when they beat Spectre, did not have Lake. So Spectre basically has an unexpected variable in the mix to borrow from Singed, and we will see how that unexpected variable will play out in just a little bit. But going into game 1, looking at the draft, knowing what we know about both of these teams, how do we see this playing out?
That's a great question. I think that we're not going to see much action before level 6. Both of these junglers really want to scale, really want to just get out there, get their level 6s. For Mordekaiser, having the Death Realm means that you can really lock down folks. For Hecarim, having the Unstoppable Onslaught of Shadows, of course, makes his ganks hurt like a truck. Pardon me for a second. Still recovering from that flu. And of course, all of the champions in every lane really want that level 6 before they can start punching at their weight. So I don't think we're going to see a lot early. But when these junglers get onto the Rift and come online, I think we're going to see a lot of action, especially towards the top half of the map. I think the bot lane is a little bit too safe for either of them to go hard. So I think that Lake, Kush, Captain Holden, and Landrin are going to have to be on their toes around that 5-6 minute mark.
That does sound like what I would expect from looking at this, but we've also learned to expect the unexpected and also watch the unexpected. So don't look away, because we will be right back after the spectator delay with Spectre Gaming versus Performance Unenhanced Ducks, not Dolphins, Ducks, for game 1 of the season 13 finals here at Black Twitch League. Do not go anywhere. Well, except maybe to like get a drink or a snack or something, but you know, you want to see what's coming next. I promise. Welcome back, everyone. Or for those of you who never left, thank you for sticking around. We are here, game one, Spectre, PUDS, and you immediately see the spreading out of all the characters from PUDS. Looks like there's also not going to be any kind of shenanigans coming out from Spectre. Everyone taking their good old 5-point B-boy stance. Also wonder, can a B-boy actually take a 5-point stance? You only have 4 contact points. Anyway,
I mean, if you
I
fall down,
digress.
you got your face as a contact point.
Oh, actually, no, never mind. So in airborne training, I do believe you do have a 5th contact point, and it's your butt.
Well, there you go.
So we do have to wonder which member is the butt of these contact points. But a little bit of contact, a little bit of gold gotten by Kush there. That first strike with one of those Syndra orbs managing to see Nerubius, but no one is able to get any deep wards. So everyone will have to just use their psychic powers to figure out where these starts are going to come from. We do have the Conqueror for Lake versus the Grasp of the Undying for Captain Holden. We have Conqueror for Nerubius over there on PUDS, but it does look like both of the junglers are starting on the bot side. Swagasm, of course, taking the phase rush, wants to go as fast as possible, as soon as possible. And both mid laners taking first strike, both ADCs actually taking lethal tempo. And we do have a Summoner Airy versus a Glacial Augment for the supports. So, nothing too fancy. Nobody's trying any shenanigans. And yeah, the junglers are just jungling along. A little bit of a trade going down here in the bot lane. Did I miss anything? You see anything that we should be already looking for going on here, Aulz?
I think we should be taking a look at Swagasm's health bar. Looks like he's not having a very good time against these rocks. Does still have the smite available, but that Hecarim is a very, very feeble horse at the moment. Level 2 does get hit first by the side of the ducks in the bot lane, so that's going to make the job a little bit harder for learning and crit here.
Ooh. Yeah, they did get a good trade. We're able to take a significant portion of Learning's health, and we do see another trade going on in the mid lane as Landrin and Kush are battling it out, and there you go, even more in the top lane. But it looks like Holden won the trade, but may lose the war. It takes him way more mana than it does Lake, because here's a secret, Aatrox doesn't have mana.
You know, I've played this game for 9 years, and I never noticed that.
Well, I am glad for this educational stream. But we do see Swagasm has now recovered all that health, but also running low on mana. Nerubius is on the other side of that mana trade as far as the junglers go, with Mordekaiser not having any mana. We do see Learning trying to use the spell shield, get back a little bit of mana for that tornado, but tactical miss from Fun Phoenix. Tactical miss.
Of course. Now, I do want to call attention to the fact that Learning here was expecting this lane to be very slow and perhaps even a little bit miserable, as he did pick up the Cole first item here. So, not expecting to be able to go aggressive, not expecting to be able to get much damage out, just wants to get that extra gold, just wants to scale up nice and slow here, and eventually be able to take out Sliacin in fights.
Yes, that does seem to be the case. Also, it looked like took the spell shield second, knowing that the pressure was coming and just wanting to make sure to stay as healthy as possible. But unforeseen for Nerubius, Nerubius was seen and possibly seen backing on that ward up there in the top lane. So they do at least know where the clear ended on the side of Spectre Gaming. No such information available, as we have seen Lake pushed up, Holden not able to get any wards out into the river. So in the eyes of PUDS, Swagasm could be anywhere. However, words became hard as I see Nerubius now looking to move into the bot lane here. We do have both jugglers in the bottom side, so we do have to wonder what that fight is going to look like. We do have Lake and Captain Holden on the other side getting a little frisky, but it looks like everybody's going to walk away. We do get Sliacin taking crit super low. Wow. Very nice arrow. Very nice combo there. Able to make sure that crit doesn't feel comfortable. We do see Swagasm coming through. Is going to get pinged out. Is going to look to take that. Nope. Doesn't even get the ward.
Lake might have the first kill topside, forces the Flash? No, no flash
No,
burned
that
by
was
Holden.
Lake's flash. That was Lake's flash just trying to catch Captain Holden during the body slam. Was not able to do so, but is going to collect a fat wave in addition to the 2 CS lead he already has. Going to give Lake a pretty solid first back advantage.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
we're starting to see these level 6s creeping closer. Let's take a look at that experience here for all the players on the map. Looks like Corki or Syndra are going to be the first to hit it here, and it will be Corki hitting that level 6 first. But power spikes are going to make these fights a little bit more interesting.
Swag is hovering around that mid lane there. Looking maybe to get something happen as Kush does hit level 6 as well, but is not going to. Both mid laners just fighting it out. We do see the World Ender come in from Lake. Lake has not backed though, so does not have the item advantage. Is fighting into that cloth armor, and Captain Holden is just going to yet again dash away and be perfectly fine. Lake is just, I don't need no items.
Yeah.
Just decided he was Jax.
I mean, that's a little bit unfortunate from Lake. If Lake had waited, backed, and then popped the World Ender after resetting, after getting a couple items, Holden was dead to rights there. That would have been Lake's fight to lose. However,
Lake is fighting Holden. Holden looks like he's going to win. There's going to be explosive class, and that's going to be first blood for Holden. Yeah, a lot a bit too greedy there from Lake. And now, though, gets the fast back. We do also have a little bit of a jungle fight going on. It is going to be Nerubius able to force Swagasm out of the jungle. Swagasm not able to contest with no top laner up there. And now we do have the resets coming through. It is going to be the serrated Dirk there for Lake. It's going to be, again, going into the cloth armor and the boots, still going to be significantly stronger than Holden. And we do already have the chains coming through, able to get Holden super low. Holden's now running away. I don't know if he's going to make it. Going to try to body slam out. Does get back into the bush. Where's the dash? There's the dash. Lake is not going to be able to get him, and Holden is again going to get away. This is super frustrating. Like, you can't get people lower without getting a kill than Lake has gotten Holden about 3 different times. But Captain Holden has that first blood gold, and Lake has no kills to show for it.
yeah,
Not fun.
this is miserable for Lake. You know, he has come so close so many times and just not been able to quite get everything that he needs to pull off these kills. You almost feel bad for him here.
Absolutely. I can personally feel the tilt rising with every trade that is won, but not capitalized on, I should say. That said, there is a pretty sizable gold lead. I shouldn't say gold lead. CS lead for Lake, even through all of that, is up about 10 with a fat wave pushing, has been able to keep the wave on his side through all of that. So is going to have now like a 16, 17, 18 gold lead, but it looks like it's going to be Landrin taking a lot of damage. We do see Fun Phoenix coming through, a very nice Valkyrie, and there's going to be a tornado. There's going to be the Monsoon. Fun Phoenix trying to get away, is going to flash out, and is going to be fine. And Kush is going to get hit with the explosive cast, is going to get pushed back and die. Landrin able to finish off the kill. Fun Phoenix still hanging out, able to use another tornado to live, and now Swagasm is going to get taken to the death realm. It's going to be Nerubius fighting Swagasm as Holden is following the Ghost Shadows, just trying to be available, and that's going to be Holden getting another kill. And now we see Lake on the other side trying to get on to Landrin or to Phoenix, is going to hit somebody, does use the World Ender, is trying to get Landrin. There is going to be the Conqueror proc, but it's going to be Landrin getting another kill, and that is going to be all of the kills. A 3-for-0 for PUDS. Are we sure they're unenhanced? Did they take the test?
I don't know, man. This playoffs, they've certainly seemed a little bit more than normal Ducks here. That being said, once again, what we're seeing is just close shaves. Everything coming to within inches here for both the Ducks and Spectre. Fun Phoenix surviving the flash auto attack as the Rift Herald gets stolen.
Yeah, Swag is able to get in there, steal it, and they are able to force off the rest of PUDS. So Spectre getting a little bit of something in return. Sorry to cut you off, but we did have a little bit more action.
No, you're
Now that
good.
everybody's six, now everybody wants to do things and make plays. But yeah, no, Fun Phoenix was super low. Landrin was super low. Nerubius was fairly safe with that Conqueror, but there was just so many opportunities for kills that just did not come through for Spectre, like you were saying.
And Lake absolutely is feeling the worst of it. Came so close to getting Nerubius, close to getting Landrin, close to getting Fun Phoenix there. He spent all the top lane coming so close to getting Holden. At some point, I almost worry for this Spectre team that this first game could start affecting their mental.
Holden is going to go down. That's going to be the shutdown for Lake. This time the Gragas got a little bit too greedy and winds up going down on a dive. I'm a little bit confused there. I don't know that that was required.
Yeah, that was a little bit greedy there from the side of Holden. Saw that Lake was a little bit low, knew that the World Ender wasn't available, but still, the Aatrox had Flash. They didn't have any location for Swagasm, so that was just a very, very bold play that might help reset Lake's mentals here, actually, which is the biggest thing, more so than the kill.
Definitely reset the gold. Lake now with that CS lead and that plate at least should be about even if my fake internet math is correct. But that is going to be a dragon being taken on the other side of the map by PUDS. They're not going to allow any action to not have a counter action. They like, what is it, Newtonian physics or whatever? I don't know. Is that it? Is that Newtonian physics?
Yeah, I do believe that you're referencing Newtonian,
Nice.
the second rule of Newtonian physics. I should know this. I'm an engineering student.
I am not. I have a degree in history. I read books about the people who read books. I didn't actually read the books they read. But that said, we do see Lake and Holden now having more interactions. We should say Lake already having the finished Eclipse, Holden not having a completed item yet. We have seen more mythics come in around the board. It is going to be the Luden's Tempest or Tempo. No, it is Tempest. I'm sorry. Coming in for Kush. It is not a finished Noon Quiver item for learning, but it is a shield blow for Salason. And just like that, Kush immediately using that Tempest to add a little bit of damage onto Landrin. Landrin's going to be fine, though. He's going to walk away. Captain Holden being forced out of the river. Swagasm and Lake able to do a good job marking the roam down for Captain Holden. Not going to get anything other than some missed XP up in the top lane. Slyason. I know. I literally casted with him, and then as I'm reading it quickly, it's no longer the same. I apologize. But yes, we do now also have the not completed mythics for the supports either. This is, I think, a little slower than I'm used to expecting for mythics definitely for junglers.
Yeah, the junglers playing this a little bit slow. Both of them have prioritized their boots first here, which does allow them to get around the map, especially with the Hecarim, with his passive, getting the extra attack damage from the movement speed. That's pretty valuable for him. Learning's going to be in trouble here, though.
Yeah, Learning is getting knocked up, is getting hit up, is able to spell shield the Chains of Corruption. A very nice Monsoon there from Fun Phoenix, able to keep him alive, but now all the damage is coming on Slyason. Is gonna look like go down either to the Ignite or to the, gonna be the Hecarim. The Speed Pony able to finish off the kill. A very nice spell shield there from Learning was able to keep him alive.
Kush is behind here.
Corruption. Oh my goodness, I did not see Kush, and Kush is coming through, is going to be sent into the death realm. Fun Phoenix is forced to run away. I think Kush is going to survive, and now it's going to be Nerubius trying to get away, but there is the Hecarim behind him, is not going to be able to get the pushback. That's going to be the Scatter of the Week, going to take Nerubius super low, trying to get away, is going to pull in Swagasm, but I don't think that's who you want to pull in, and Learning is going to be able to take the kill as Swagasm tanks the tower. Kush is going to take Fun Phoenix on the other side as well. Yeah, no, Spectre's fine.
Yeah, they struggled for the first couple of minutes, but suddenly they found their feet again, and this is a game, Rodney.
Absolutely is, and on top of which, top lane, which, again, Lake was having finishing issues in the top lane, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's so far ahead as far as like gold and pressure. And I was able to get another plate as well. Is going to come back with some boots now. Still no mythic for Captain Holden. Holden was also getting chunked out in the middle of that fiasco going down in bot lane for PUDS. So PUDS was kind of losing all over the map there. I don't know what happened. Maybe they just flipped the switch, but Spectre said, hang on now, hang on. We're number 1 seed for a reason. Don't think we're sweet.
You're telling us the point of finals is to win the games? Oh, we better actually start winning the game, huh?
That is very much what happened. It turns out Spectre does not subscribe to my theory of win lane and FF it and tell the other team to FF at 15 because that's your best way to win the game. And they would like to play the whole thing out and are doing very good at it. Shocker, I know. But yeah, we do see again, Lake is like half an item up on Captain Holden despite all of the bad things that happened pre 10 minutes. And it is now a gold lead, also a 1,000 gold lead, 1,500 gold lead for Spectre. And yeah, the Ocean Drake is spawning and they are already on it, gonna be able to take advantage of it, not going to be contested. In fact, it looks like Nerubius is gonna decide to prioritize the other side of the map.
Yeah, probably smart from Nerubius here. Go ahead, give up the Drake. You know you're not going to have the manpower to do that. So instead, try and get this Rift Herald, but Lake might have something to say about that. Did not hit the eye, and it's going to get stolen again! Nerubius cannot succeed with these Rift Heralds.
And now the rest of the team is coming, racing through, and we do get the Onslaught plus Lake with the speed that was given from the Syndra. It looks like Holden is going to be able to live, is going to get away. Maybe they are now trying to get him on the other side, and Learning is going to be able to clean up the kill. And just like that, they put 5 people top lane. Literally so much speed between the On the Hunt and all of the speed ups that come through from Crit that they were able to take the dragon, run just straight through mid lane, take the Rift Herald, and win the team fight. That could pose some problems.
Yeah, Spectre suddenly looking very good here. Lake is an issue. Learning has become an issue. Kush starting to get those shards is going to be an issue. Swagasm, he's fast. He can be everywhere on the map. He's an issue. The question is, who can become an issue for the Ducks? Corki, of course, but he needs 2 items to really be... to start churning out that damage, to start being a threat to Kush and Learning with just the poke of the ultimate. Varus? Sure, but they haven't been able to get Sliacin engaged in these fights. Captain Holden's going to be a tank. Nerubius has his build all over the place right now. Not going to have any items for a little bit.
Oh no! The chains miss. Sliacin is in a bad place. It's gonna be Fun Phoenix coming through with the save, and it's more the shield bow that keeps him alive. And Swag trying to come through for a cleanup is gonna run in, run out. Did pop the ghost. I don't think he's worried about it between the cooldown and the other speed ups that are available. We do see Captain Holden also fighting Lake. Is gonna use the explosive cast. Lake gonna take a tower shot, but Lake still wins the trade. That also does not feel good when you make someone take a whole tower shot and they're like, I still win. It's cool. You don't hurt at all, and I hurt you. And we do see a rotation going around to the bot side, but it looks like they're just going to take the tower and drop Rift Herald. They may be able to get a second charge onto the inner tower here on the bottom side. What is PUDS going to do?
Yeah, and that's the question, isn't it? Who on the side of PUDS can you trust to fight the side of Spectre right now? As Sliacin just gets run down. There's nothing he can really do with Crit behind Learning there. Yeah,
I think he would have actually won the fight if it had not been for the Wild Growth. Looked like was actually winning the 1v1. That's when you post in that all chat. Must be nice to need friends or something, just something to point out, hey, I can beat you if I wasn't getting jumped here, okay? But yeah, absolutely had no way to escape, had to turn and fight, and then it turns out that there's many of them instead of one, which seems to be a recurring theme going on right now for Spectre, is that the whole point of being part of a crew is you never have to fight solo.
Rod, I gotta ask, how in the world are you honor level 4?
I genuinely do not know. I think it's because when I say things like this in game, people laugh at them like I do and think I'm joking. That has to be it, because they're like, "Oh, what a funny guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah." When really I'm like, "No. Why don't you not bring your friend and catch these elbows?" Okay? But that has to be it. Has to be. But we do see a little bit of a reset going on. I don't think the second Rift Herald charged, so that is a small win we have for PUDS. That's a we. You could see the vision. There is literally only one ward on the side of PUDS to show leading up to, and it's, oh man, it's a blue trinket ward too, or maybe a ghost ward. I'm not sure where it initially came from, but they are not going to be able to tell when this dragon is starting. Not that it matters, because Lake is just over here pushing Captain Holden away. And yeah, now all the vision is being cleared. We let you have a little vision as a treat, but now there will be no vision, and Fun Phoenix is going to have to.
Oh,
no, it's
poor Fun Phoenix.
Oh, buddy. And that's going to be the death. Fun Phoenix gets pulled back in by the fear, I believe. It's going to be the package being used on the Kush. Kush is going to flash over the wall and be perfectly fine. Is not going to even get hit by the Chains of Corruption. Is now going to come back in, and Nerubius is going to go down. That's going to be another ultimate use, and Slyason's going to go down as well. Crit is going to somehow get the kill, but it doesn't matter. Landrin is going to give the kill to Learning.
They're going for Baron.
Yeah. It's a 4 for nothing. They can go for Baron, and Lake can probably solo the dragon. This is a turn of events.
This game felt so close for the first 10 minutes, and the Ducks have not gotten a kill. They got the first 4 kills, and they have not gotten anything since.
They got the first 4 kills and a dragon, and have not gotten a tower, a dragon, a Rift Herald, a kill. They are killing some wards, though. Those are like, oh, and here we go. Here's the teleport from Kush, just to make sure that Lake is fine. Taking this here dragon. There wasn't going to be any contest. But yeah, it's basically like, you know, when a pitcher comes in and gets shellacked in like the first inning, and then they come out to the mound like, "Hey, you good?" And they're like, "No, I'm good, I'm good." And we're like, "You sure?" And then they like pitch like 6 shutout innings after that, and you're like, "You just need to warm up? What happened?"
Just kind of forgot how to play the game for a minute there. Had to turn the arm off and back on again.
Very much what it felt like. But now we do see a gigantic lead for Spectre. It's going to be about an 8,000 gold lead with Baron, with 2 dragons, not 3 though. They did not get that first dragon. Oh, there we go. It's going to be a tower taken down by minions up there in the top lane. So while they do get the bonus shutdown gold comeback mechanic, rubber banding that Riot built in, it's not actually going to give the local gold to anyone. Kush is going to get spotted there on a ward, and yet again we see the action of Nerubius trying to come from behind to get Kush. Kush is going to maybe go to the death realm at some point. There it is going to go to the death realm, is trying to stay alive. We do see the rotations coming through, but it looks like Nerubius is going to be able to get that kill. And here's the rest of the team. The literal one-man cavalry of Swagasm is going to go in and decide, this one's not my fight, and go away. And that is going to be a shutdown kill going over to Nerubius, which is good. You're always happy with that. And Lake is going to fight Captain Holden. We do see Landrin coming through now. Landrin does have 2 items, neither of them being the mythic, but also does have, oh my God. Lake said, "I don't care."
Yeah, Lake is at the Aatrox point. He can hit whatever button, and it is suddenly the funny button. He has 4 primordial bursts at this point, and there is nothing that the Ducks can do about it. It just feels miserable to face into this Aatrox right now.
So,
yeah, goodbye, Holden. You shouldn't have walked up. In fact, maybe not. Maybe Holden's gonna win this fight. Lake took a lot of turret shots there.
Yeah, Lake has done more damage to Lake than I think Holden has in 20 minutes. This is does get the back off, though, does also still have the Baron empowered back, and it's going to be the inner mid lane tower going down. But this is why they always recommend even in like new age RPGs, that you at least run with a 3-person party instead of a 2-person party. You need a tank, you need a DPS, and probably a healer or a second DPS of a different type if you're going to take on a raid boss like this Aatrox is right now. Because holy smokes, did Landron disappear? Just disappeared. Like showed up, threw a rocket, got hit, couldn't move, died. And Landron is the strongest person for PUDS. I am past worried. I am now concerned.
If you're the Ducks at this point, you almost have to start thinking about games 2 through 5 here.
Well, they do have Crit. Crit is trapped in the Death Realm, running fast and getting away. And oh no, you chased the support. Oh, finally got him. Slicing is able to take them down. It's going to be the Chains of Corruption being used on a Swagasm. It's going to be rooted, but it doesn't matter. That Onslaught of Shadows is indeed an unstoppable onslaught of shadows, but not the unstoppable onslaught. Able to get him away. So it is another kill. They are able to take down Crit. They only had to use like
everything.
3 ults, 2 ults. 3 ults, but Landron is now able to take down Kush, and they are going to be able to chase down Nope, they're going to at least chase out Learning, and that's going to give them a little bit of priority with this dragon coming up, able to maybe keep Spectre Gaming off a soul point, but I am still worried because Lake is within 3 screens of this dragon. Oh, there it is. There's going to be the teleport coming out for Landron. There's going to be the explosive cast. Landron does have the package. It's going to use the package, trying to get onto Lake. Lake is going to still not die. Get onto Landron. Does not care about this burn at all. Uses the World Ender just... Hey, they brought the third-party member, though. Third-party member key. That's going to be a shutdown gold for Landron. And just like that, gold lead down to 8,000, 4,000, 6,000. Hey, again, I don't do math, but
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And a turret. They're not going away. I will give PUDS that. Absolutely not going away. You know, quick maths, you know, 2 + 2 is 4, -3, that's 1. I can do that all day, okay? 5,000 minus 50,000 minus 44,000. I turn in to flipping Scott Steiner. All right. So that said, that is going to be a dragon being taken by PUDS. Again, not going away quietly, able to get many golds back into their pockets. Most of it, again, going on to Landron. Landron is going to be very strong. We do have a little bit of fight going on in the mid lane for priority. That is going to be the Chains of Corruption being landed, but Kush is going to be able to take down Solias and whatever. If I say it wrong, I say it wrong. Life is good. Nerubius is going to trap somebody in the Death Realm. Really hard to tell because it doesn't matter, because now Nerubius himself going to go untargetable, but now going to go into Death Realm. That is going to be Learning. Still unstoppable. Learning has been untouched in everything. The key is that they just need to get Learning in the fights. The fight's kind of happening away from Learning at various times, and that's the ones that they lose. But I don't think it's going to matter, because with the jungler down, it's going to be a dragon, a Baron for Spectre Gaming. A little bit of a hiccup again. Had to turn it off and back on again. Maybe check your power supply, but they are able to right the ship at least for one more fight and take this here giant purple worm.
Yeah, and this is something that we saw with Fantastic Four and Zerathai a fair bit, where one person makes the right call, but the rest of the team doesn't necessarily follow up. Because Nerubius took Learning to the Death Realm. Learning was not in that fight for 10 seconds. But Sliason was already dead. Holden backed out. Landron backed out. Fun Phoenix was busy disengaging. So they didn't have the chance to make use of the window that Nerubius gave them.
Yes, that is very true. And catching Learning, even in the Death Realm, very hard. Not only because of the move speed from the passive, because of the move speed from the ultimate, and just in general because of where they were with the bush there, with the little wall while they were trying. Oh, I don't even get to see what's going on. Nerubius goes down. Hopefully y'all got to see it on stream. Looks like it's going to also be Learning going down. The unleashed power going to hit him No matter how far you go, if I pressed R, you are going to die. And just like that, there's 2 members down on the side of PUDS, and it is the Grove Street Spectre Gaming looking to take down. Wait, is it Grove Street? No, it's the Ballers. The Ballers are the ones who wear purple. Grove Street wears green. But they are going to take down a mid lane inhibitor and maybe just more. Yeah, I genuinely did not see what happened. Like what actually killed Mordekaiser was there, was gone. No idea how it happened.
He took 2 autos from learning, and his health bar refused to survive that.
that makes sense. And does not seem fun because he has like 3,000 health. But we do see Holden getting pulled back from the internal chains. There's going to be the chains of corruption, double chains, all the chains. But yeah, it's going to be Swagasm on the backside. Looks like going to take down Fun Phoenix. It's going to be Landrin going down second. And Learning is just chewing through everything. Swagasm is able to get a kill as well. Said, hey, save some for me. And that's going to be a double kill for Spectre Gaming as they take out the rest of the base. Another inhibitor going down, some nice empowered supers coming through, and on the hunt used to make sure Swagasm is just super duper fast. Holden is trying to get back onto the fountain, is going to go down anyway. Swagasm going to take a little bit of a laser, but it doesn't matter. Spectre Gaming, game 1.
Yeah,
a couple bumps, but whatever.
That stopped feeling close after a little bit there, Rod.
It really, really did. It was one, so I'm going to, because I like to talk about things I don't know, I'm going to talk about something I do know for a little bit. So typically when there's movements, like any sort of movement for change or movement against change, what happens is the movement has momentum. The momentum gets blunted, and then there's a sudden burst of action. And that burst of action either leads to the movement being successful, or it is the last gasp before it's going to be suppressed for 40, 50 years, 100 years, depending on whatever organizing system it's fighting against. PUDS had one of those movements, and for a second I thought they were going to be like, oh, this is the comeback. This is when they overthrow the tyrant Spectre Gaming's foot on their throat. But no, it was just a last gasp, throw everything before the overwhelming gold lead and just damage difference from Spectre came through and said, no, we're not doing this. I'm the king.
And props to Spectre where it's deserved. That was a rough opening. PUDS managed to avoid dying so many times. They managed to avoid giving over kills. They managed to pick off Spectre 4 times without any response from Spectre. And they didn't let it get to him. They managed to hold on through all of that. They managed to keep stable and keep their mentals controlled, and that gave them the win.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here in game number 2, if the Ducks are able to reset themselves or if they're going to struggle to stay on their feet here. Because I think that'll determine how this series goes.
I 100% agree. I am looking to and hoping to enjoy not only dropping my phone, in case you didn't hear that, but the permutations we're going to see in draft, hopefully, or if we're going to see PUDS say, nah, that was a fluke, run it back. I doubt we will, but I always love when we do. So that said, don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Game 2, Spectre Gaming, Performance Unenhanced Ducks, Black Twitch League Season 13 Finals.
We'll be right back.
Okay, we are back for game 2. Performance unenhanced Dolphins. Spectre Gaming. Game 1,
Sir,
we did see.
Rodney, you did
Yes.
the thing again. They are the Ducks, my friend.
Dang it! Why do I want to call them Dolphins? I know I want to call them Dolphins. There was a old Risen team, for those of you who play in regular people Elo, called Pod of Dolphins, and they were pods. This is PUDS. So I will apologize forever. But also, in the interest of making me happy and no one else, maybe consider Dolphins. But performance unenhanced Ducks coming into game 2 looking to change things up, and we do see a Lucian ban, an Aatrox ban, and a Syndra ban. They're not doing that again. They said, no. That wasn't what I want to deal with. Do something different. Spectre, on the other hand, going to ban the Renata, going to ban the Karthus, and ban the Gangplank, like we saw previously.
Yeah, and absolutely the correct choice here from the Ducks with this adjustment here. The Syndra was problematic. The Aatrox was incredibly problematic. They don't want to have to deal with that again, so taking it off the table will force Spectre to adjust a little bit, and in theory at least, give the Ducks a window.
Yes. Or, and this is one of the things I actually say a lot, I don't know what everyone does at work, but sometimes it's really good to just trade problems. Like if you have a problem that you don't really know a solution to, you give it to someone else and they give you their problem, and maybe you both can come up with different solutions. And I think that is a good idea for PUDS, just being like, I'm sure you have other problems you're going to send to me, but I don't want to deal with the one we just saw. That's not for me. But we do get the Yuumi pick coming in, and again, we're going to see the Hecarim for Swagasm, but it's going to be the Caitlyn for learning this time, not the Sivir.
Yeah, Caitlyn has been, at least recently, paired a lot with the Lux. It's a very aggressive lane, wants to win early. Into a lane with a Yuumi, it's both good and bad. It means there's less targets, but it also means there's less targets. So, you don't have to think about who to hit, but it's also way easier to miss.
That is true, but we do have a Ezreal as well, so that one target going to be even more dashing. Aha. See what I did there? But yes, going to be moving a little bit more than the average ADC may be able to, if this is indeed a Lux. But we do get an Aatrox pick for PUDS. Not Aatrox. What an Olaf.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. I need to turn it off and restart as well, apparently. But yeah, the Olaf going to be able to run through any CC from Caitlyn and or Lux and or Hecarim technically, and could be top or mid. But yeah, we do see the Lux pick coming in likely for crit though.
Could
don't want to rule it out
go
here.
To Kush, yeah.
But we do get a Victor ban coming in for Spectre. Still not going to allow Landrin to play that Victor at all. Yasuo ban for PUDS. Looks like they are operating as though that Lux is going to be in the support role. I think a good assumption.
Yeah,
but...
while they're thinking about their last bans here, I just want to say I don't like this bot lane. It's such a volatile bot lane for Spectre, the Caitlyn Lux. It either wins hard or it's irrelevant after 4 or 5 minutes. And into an Ezreal, into a Yuumi, with the Arcane Shift, with the fact that Yuumi's always attached, it's going to be next to impossible for the combo that this lane wants to hit to ever connect. And I don't like that. I think that's a wasted opportunity by Spectre here to pick up something like the Varus, maybe. Something that would be more valuable even if they're not ahead at 4 minutes, at 5 minutes, if they haven't already won lane by then.
See, this is very funny to me, because I think about it on the other side, where Caitlyn Lux own this lane. Like, Ezreal will be pushed in and unable to participate in any river shenanigans. for the whole laning phase. Like there's nothing that's going to be available unless I just don't understand how wave clear works, because I'm pretty sure Caitlyn Lux can literally actively push this lane the whole time, right?
Yeah,
Like
they
just
can, yeah. With
and then
built over
pressure you
Peacemaker
under
and Lucent Singularity, yeah.
and just pressure you under tower. That said, before we go back to those points about what's going to happen here in this bot lane, we do have PUDS again going to ban out the Sejuani. I do believe the Sejuani ban is targeted at Lake, which is interesting. But it's going to be a Twitch. It's going to be a Twitch. So that means it could either be an Ezreal mid or it could be a Twitch jungle. Twitch
I'm
AP
leaning towards
mid.
the Twitch jungle here.
Oh,
Nerubius
I
wants
love
his
this.
AP junglers, and he will find a way to make every jungler AP. Although with this draft, oof, that's a
absolutely
lot of
love
question
this.
marks.
Yeah, and we do get the Maokai, like you said, a ton of question marks. Who's going where with what? I love the shenanigans from PUDS. I like when you make the other team think about what they have to deal with. But we did get the Ari pick going for Kush, and it's going to be Lake getting the counter pick, except are you counter picking into an Olaf or into a Maokai? I just like when a team poses questions.
Okay, I like
Ooh,
the
doesn't
posing
care.
questions angle.
Doesn't care.
I don't like the team comp overall from the Ducks. I think it lacks cohesion.
Definitely does. I feel like I feel like they did not know they were gonna go Twitch, because I definitely wouldn't have picked an Olaf with a Twitch. Like I would think you would want something with a little more lockdown.
Yeah, and the Maokai, the Nature's Grasp, is solid for that, but it's not incredible for that. So I feel like there's a missed opportunity here.
But I think the bigger question, problem, issue is that Fiora at an item eats Olaf. Fiora at an item or two should be able to eat Maokai. What are you going to have to answer this Fiora with all of this not lockdown? Like it's going to require some absolute great play from Sliason to either match and kite out the Fiora, or they're going to have to force the Fiora to not be able to split push, I think.
Yeah, and
oh, what?
That has to be being adjusted here. That cannot be where it's going to actually go.
This is crazy. I love it. I love it. All season I've been like, oh, well, they could maybe, and no one ever does it. Come on. Come through for me one time, PUDS, one time. This is no way.
This is cursed.
Ain't no way. And no. Ain't no way.
No, man, come on. This cannot be correct.
They are trolling me.
There is no way on earth that any of this could ever be making it to the Rift.
I assume somewhere between Olaf, Twitch, and Maokai, there has to be a trade. You are correct, because actually, I don't know. Maokai should be able to at least survive in lane with an Ahri. He's not going to get blown up.
I disagree. Sap Magic has too high of a cooldown early. Ahri is going to be able to poke him to pieces, and without bushes, he doesn't have any sapling tosses that matter.
That is fair. I am legitimately on the edge of my seat.
I don't have words, Rodney.
Something's got to give. Just something's got to give. I
do not have answers.
This is about to be really, really fun, or really, really, really confusing. And remember 45 seconds ago when our biggest concern was, what about the bot lane? If this is really what it is,
we've passed the 30-second mark. They're locked in.
The bot
Unless,
lane might be the simplest solution for what's going to happen here.
okay, I see one answer. Landrin and Holden lane swap. That is the only way I can see this making sense. So that is a Twitch mid and a Maokai top being played by inverted laners.
That is possible.
That's
That is
the
possible.
only way I can make any sense of this draft.
You know, I will say this. I love when people think that they have to pull something special and they reach for, okay, well, I got this. And it's just, you're at a card game and they pull out a brick. I like that. I don't know if the brick wins this hand, but I like it.
Well, we'll have to see if the Ducks are secretly Masons or if they're going to get brick laid here tonight. I don't have much else to say here.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go anywhere now because this is going to be interesting one way or the other. I guarantee it. Yeah. So grab you a drink, grab you a snack. I don't know. Let your pet outside real quick if you have an outside pet because this could only go crazy. We'll be back with game 2 very shortly. All right, here we go. Game 2. Spectre Gaming, performance enhanced ducks. It does look like what you called is in fact accurate. It looks like it's going to be Holden going mid, but not a traditional 5-point start like we saw previously. We do have Fun Phoenix being there. It looks like they're going to try to catch out Lake with Captain Holden there. Lake is going to at least get slowed, is now trying to run away, is going to make the correct juke and not get hit with the second axe toss, going to walk very, very safely back to the tower. Not even a deep ward being pressed into the jungle there. So already the cheese has started for the team employing the rat, but nothing too major has got in. Nerubius not even able to clear that ward. That said, okay, yeah, there we go. There's the ward over the wall. We are going to see, at least on the side of PUDS, where Swagasm is starting. Okay.
All right. Well, this is going to be interesting here. Captain Holden, the normal top laner for the Ducks, taking the mid lane with the Twitch. Not someone you see in the mid lane a whole lot here, Rod.
That is true. However, I do remember like 3 years ago when Caps decided to play mid lane Vayne, and I remember the comms where he was like, I got it, and everybody's like, you're crazy, and then like I had to deal with 19 million people playing mid lane Vayne in my games. So hopefully this doesn't become a thing, please, Holden, please. But I do know a thing, which is that this is not the most efficient start, regardless of if you're going AD or AP with Twitch. Starting with the Doran's Ring is actually better than starting with the Doran's Blade. Like mathematically speaking, because of what you need to do level 1 and what your trade pattern is going to be until you start getting AD anyway. You want to have that more damage on. Oh my god. Landgren is not having fun with Lake.
No, Lake says, all right, you took away the Aatrox. Good for you. Good for you.
And Slyison is also not having fun with this bot lane. Like I said, they pushed him in immediately and said, cool, we're going to take a chunk of your health, do something. And there's not a lot of somethings that were available for Slyison to do other than lose 60% of his health.
Yeah.
Already used the cleanse. Already had to use the cleanse, yeah.
The level 2 advantage was a little bit more pronounced than I expected it to be. Slyson, without the arcane shift, really just a sitting duck there.
I see what you did there. I like it. But yes.
Oh gosh, that wasn't even intentional.
Very accurate. Already down 10 CS. Is going to have a fat wave pushing in. But again, every CS is costing him at least an auto's worth of health. And we do see Fun Phoenix is already almost out of
Holden looking
mana.
for the kill
Kush,
here. Has the expunge.
Kush is getting Sega super low. It is going to go down. That's going to be first blood on the Captain Holden. That's it. We do see Nerubius coming down in the bot lane. Crit is going to be able to get away. Learning as well. Oh no, the Prowling Projectile able to take him down. And that's going to be a kill for Slyson. Learning still not going to get away as well. Nerubius able to get the kill. So, PUDS. Okay, we're doing this again.
Yeah, the Ducks out to another blistering start here. The question again becomes, can they sustain it this time? Last time, they got up 4 kills to 0, and then suddenly Spectre remembered how to play the video game. Can they keep Spectre with their monitors off for long enough to create an insurmountable lead here? If Lake has his way, that answer is going to be no, and with Swagasm here, it might become even more problematic.
A very nice advantage from Landgren. Yeah. Twisted advance plus flash. But Kush is on the backside. Crit not allowing Slyson to back. Gonna land the root and the
taking a lot
cosmic
of
radiance
response, though.
Oh my goodness. Just
And again,
All right.
this is the problem with this lane. If they don't get ahead, if they lose, they are suddenly not champions.
That is very true, but we do see Lake and Landry going at it. Lake again did not back when the back was available, when the wave was all the way pushed in and the laner had to leave, and could again be turning into a problem.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggression from Lake here, trying to make every second count. You have the TP, you gotta back off here, and he's gonna get slowed down once again with the sapling. He could be in danger of being dove here.
Yeah, we do see Nerubius coming through on that top side. Is going to get pinged out, but now
Hold in
Lake
here
is
on the
in a
bot
bad
side.
place. Oh, no. Yep. Does get the first kill. Lake able to get a repose. Does slow Nerubius. Nerubius is going to get away, though. Yeah. Both sides of the map there. Ganks coming through for performance unenhanced Dolphins. And they said, we figured out the problem from last game was that we got ahead and then we just weren't aggro enough afterwards. So now that's what's going on. We do see Nerubius, though, trying to get away from Swagasm, is going to be able to go under the tower, but is going to be forced to give up his own Gromp. But yet again, we see the greed from Lake leading to an early kill in that top lane. Swagasm, oh no, the camp resets. Oh no. You hate to see it.
Yeah, Swagasm
yeah.
does have a huge CS lead at the moment, but with Nerubius all over the map, you have to wonder if it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I believe that kill and those 2 assists more than balance out those 4 camps. So, not to mention, the actions that have been taken have allowed the lanes to be ahead. So, if Nerubius were to say disappear for a couple minutes to get caught back up, it's not going to be a problem in theory.
Forget disappear to get caught back up. He's just gonna run down the bot lane again.
With the Yuumi on him attached, making him run even faster, does not have Ghost quite yet, is not going to be able to do anything in the bot lane. The bot lane is playing safe enough. They are going to get spotted on the pink ward. So, not able to execute that gank. But yeah, no, take a break. No. Olaf is strong early, so I will be early. I like that idea. Not going to get outscaled if the game doesn't go past 20 minutes. Lake, though, would, 1, like the game to go past 20 minutes, and 2, like to continue hitting Landgren. I don't know. It won't let me switch them in the visual client. So if I say the wrong laner, my bad. But Captain Holden able to force out Kush there again. Holden is actually CSing even despite the roams that we've seen. It's going to be Lake onto Landgren. Lake is going to be just fine. We do see Swagasm looking to circle back, learning, taking a ton of damage. Is going to get hit by the Sure Shot Barrage and is going to go down. No, PUDS is fine.
PUDS seems
Absolutely
to be doing
fine.
well. Landrin is getting dove here. Will he fall?
It's going to be
Looks like the answer's
everybody.
gonna be yes.
Lake is going. Oh, sorry. It's going to be Swagasm going to get the kill. Lake was tanking the tower. He's going to get away, but just like that, it's going to be on the other side. Nerubius on that dragon. Not worry about it. Does have the Yuumi to come through and give him a little bit of extra heal, a little bit of extra shield. So able to take down the dragon. It is going to be plates for Lake. Lake not worried about anybody showing up there on the top lane. So is this just what it's going to be? It's going to be Lake and the Fiora versus Holden and the Twitch?
It sure feels like it. However, Sliason is also a problem. Already 2-0-2. Learning is 0-3. Crit is 0-2.
Crit forced the flash away. Oh, they do get all of the CCs on, but it doesn't matter. Holden is here. Holden is unleashing the spray and parry and is going to take them down. Or is it Rat-a-tat? I forget what. Yeah, it's spray and parry again. Okay, thank you. They changed it. They changed it back. They changed it back. I know it maybe only happened once, but that's how I remember it. But is going to be able to take down the kill nonetheless, and that is a 3-0 Twitch walking back into mid lane.
He's behind Kush here.
Invisible.
He's going to get the kill.
Yeah. Kush is going to get. Yeah, no. When you land the charm, but you're under the tower, so good job. You take more damage for landing your skill shots than you did if you would have just missed. And that is going to be a 4-0 Twitch at 9 minutes in the game. Yeah, I really like this. I like all of the things that are happening here. Like I said,
I'm not sure if it was on air or when we were discussing between Champ Select and in game.
We're
But
gonna
I
have
was
to
saying
put that
that I
on hold.
love
The
it.
final
Ooh,
chapter
yeah.
comes out. Crit's gonna very
Ooh.
close to dying here.
Crit is just barely going to live. Slicing out of mana, not able to continue that chase. But yeah, the kills, the gold infusion that has been on this bot lane has meant that the early laning pressure has not been there to pressure. But we do see Lake fighting Langrid now, able to get two, is able to parry and is trying to get the third. Does get the third of the grand challenge, is going to heal a bunch, is going to dash away, and is going to be mostly okay. Not going to go down even if Nerubius comes for the assistance. We do see rotations coming up now from the mid laner and jungler, but everyone's going to stay safe. Everyone from PUDS is able to walk away.
Yeah, I just want to talk about some of the disparity that we're seeing right now. Captain Holden is level 9. Crit has still not reached level 6. Just reaches it now. This is miserable for the side of Spectre.
He's just standing there waiting. Oh, God. Oh, God.
You can't say
Delete it.
anything. Good grief.
Delete it.
And you know,
no.
I have to eat my words. I said that I didn't like the Ducks draft because I didn't think it had a coherent identity. The coherent identity is apparently, yeah, forget team fights. We're going to win before we leave laning phase.
The identity is no one is safe. No one, you can't walk to lane. There may be an invisible twitch just outside the vision range of your tower that's going to kill you in 4 autos.
And good grief, this gold chart is miserable looking at the gold over time. There were a couple seconds at the start where Spectre had a good angle, but
There we go.
suddenly
Swag
it's
is
just gone
on to
off
Holden
the
is fine.
rails.
Holden is fine. Oh, that feels so bad. So that's a ghost use for Swag. Is not going to get a lot. Phoenix is going to take a little bit of damage from Crit, but yeah, no. It looked like
That
maybe
was-
something. Oh.
That was a prowling projectile and a single shot.
Oh no, and
From
Swag
the
trying to
Ezreal.
wrap around is going to have to ult to get away. Ezreal's online already.
Yeah, Ezreal has the Triforce. He's nearly finished the Tear of the Goddess. This is a very, very scary Mystic man. And Learning is going to find that out the hard way. If he takes another Mystic shot, he is dead.
Oh, very nice route from Crit. We are going to get the final spark. Last spark? Final spark. But it is not going to indeed be the final anything. In fact, it's kind of like Final Flash. Vegeta uses it. No one ever actually... It's not final for anybody. You just like to shout it. And that's how that final spark felt. Sliacin ate it. No problem. Still pressuring that lane. Still getting more plates. Looks like it's going to get this here fourth. Oh, no. Ran out of minions. A very nice use of all of that wave clear. But instead of being able to use it offensively, it is being used defensive now. We do see the Luden's Tempest coming in for Kush. Already half an item, or I'm sorry, completed boots behind Captain Holden. Holden has enough gold for a completed item, or a completed half of an item, I should say, but decided for the boots. Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? And I know I've brought this up before because it's literally my favorite team. Is, I think it was season 4, season 5, when we first saw the Unicorns of Love and they went to IEM and they came out with like the Twisted Fate jungle, Devourer Twisted Fate, and just things we had never seen and played by just, why are they here? How are they here? I'm dead. That's what this feels like from PUDS, and I love it. I wish they had started like this, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this has a completely different energy to game 1 here. And Spectre desperately on the back foot. They do get first turret here. And Nerubius might be in trouble. The ace in the hole doesn't quite have enough.
Yep. Is going to walk away. Is going to literally walk to a camp. Maybe smite the camp and be just fine. Nope. Just going to use the path of healing. And be perfectly fine. That is the first tower going over on the top side, though. The one thing that they have not been able to do is dissuade Lake from doing Lake things. But we have yet again an invisible, very fast Twitch, but there is a Swagasm there. I don't think he's worried. There is a Lake there. You should worry about that. Lake able to riposte and get away. Captain Holden. Oh!
Sliason nearly taken a little bit off the top with that True Shot Barrage. Doesn't
Such a
quite
nice-
have enough damage, but in an item or two, that's going to be a kill.
Yeah, and actually, in the meantime, bot lane dodges out that light binding, able to get a decent amount of damage on the crit while trading, looking super clean on this Ezreal right now. I don't know what's... This is honestly the inverse of what I thought I would be asking. Who's going to lock down the Ezreal?
Well, that's a great question. You have to put that on the Hecarim's shoulders, you think. He's the only member here for the side of Spectre who's going to be strong in these team fights, it feels like. The Ahri down 0-3, the Caitlyn down 0-3, the Lux down 0-3. It just doesn't feel like anyone on the side of Spectre has enough to really face up to Sliason, short of a misplay like this where he doesn't have enough mana for an arcane shift. Finally
He's
gets
gonna
just
flash, there it
barely
goes.
enough.
Uh,
But that's an
and
expensive
takes
misplay.
half of Swag's, yeah, takes half of Swag as himself though. And we do see Lake and Landgren and Nerubius, excuse me, having an adventure. Lake does take too many tower shots and continues to be their own undoing. Yeah. Why?
I feel like he still thinks he's playing Aatrox. Because that felt like the kind of play where if he was on Aatrox, he would win that fight. Landrin came so close to dying, just not quite enough. And it feels like last game again, right? Where Lake comes
Yes.
very close, makes aggressive plays that balance on a knife's edge, but just can't hit the mark.
Yeah, we do see on the other side, we do see the Rift Herald being started by Nerubius. Is going to have the backup of Landgren and Captain Holden here. Looks like it's going to be, yeah, it is going to be taken. Excuse me, I didn't actually get to see it go through, but there's actually not that big a 2,000 gold lead for the amount of work that has been done. 2 dragons though, but also there's actually kind of a reverse, I guess you'd say, issue of not getting as much gold as maybe they could possibly get on the side of PUDS.
Yeah, I do think a lot of that is down to the 40 CS difference between the junglers. Swagasm hasn't really been able to affect lanes, but he has done a great job of clearing out the jungle. And I suspect, and we will check the gold tab here, but I suspect that's where a lot of the gold is for this Spectre team. Outside of that, though, you're right. They're not doing a great job of pushing this massive kill advantage. Captain Holden has gotten a lot of kills, has gotten a lot of picks, but just hasn't been able to force actual objectives with it. It's a little bit unfortunate.
Is picking the fight on the Kush, but again, we do see a wild Swagasm appear, is going to try to pick the fight. Kush is going to go back in, is going to be able to get the shutdown gold, and that's going to cut that gold lead basically in half.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
and is able to
not
get the
what you wanna
charge onto
see.
Landgrim. Absolutely not. Swagasm just waiting up the hill said, I've seen this happen before. I will just wait for you to do the thing. And then Kush is going to go down. Sliason able to use the Arcane Shift, the Mystic Shot, the Prowling Projectile that came through from Fun Phoenix. Nothing missed. I'm trying to say that nothing missed. And now Swagasm's in a bad place. Looks like it's going to go down. Is going to be actually saved and is going to get the shutdown gold on the Sliason. And now it's a fight turning again. Crit is looking like they're going to go down. It's going to be the CC immune Ragnarok and Olaf trying to get away, maybe trying to get on the crit. The Prowler Projectile is going to be able to get the kill, and now it's Landgren, crit, and Landgren, Fun Phoenix, and Nerubius fighting Learning and Lake for this dragon. But we do see Captain Holden is going to be the first one to come back up. The advantage of dying first is you respawn first. So it is going to still be the third dragon going over to PUDS. And so it turns out you maybe don't have to catch them out, they'll catch themselves out.
So it appears. That was such a strange fight there, Rod. Spectre got the kill onto Holden. Looked great. Looked like they started having a little bit of pressure, a little bit of tempo, a little bit of control over this neutral objective of the Drake, but they overstayed. I blinked for 2 seconds and suddenly Kush is dead.
Uh-oh.
And then suddenly Spectre is in a bad position. They have Nerubius on top of them. They have Lantern on top of them.
Very nice Mystic shot. And
Lake is just dead. No, maybe not. Good fancy feat there to dodge the True Shot Barrage. Might actually manage to get out alive here.
Yeah, is going to get out alive, but again, took 2 tower shots. Just, I need you to turn it from like 10 to 9. That's it. Just turn it from 10 to 9. And I think Lake would be like, honestly, running over the game right now of just a little bit less. Literally just a little bit less. We do see an adventure coming through here from Captain Holden and Fun Phoenix, but they're not going to find anybody hanging out in that topside jungle for Spectre Gaming. They don't actually have anything up, though, which is going to tell them where they likely would find Hecarim, being that he is clearing the bot side. But, yeah, Lake just a little much today, right?
Yeah, that's really been the issue. It hasn't been, the major problem for Spectre. That hasn't been why Spectre is struggling this game. It was that the bot lane lost the early fight, and they were a feast or famine bot lane. So that's why this game is going problematic. But you're right. If Lake were just a little bit more cautious, just a little bit more respectful of the fact that his opponent has a turret, the lane that he was in would not be close.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to close on the Swagasm. Swagasm's gonna just get away, speed himself up, and dash off in typical Centaur fashion. I have 4 legs, you have 2. Can't catch me. But we did see the teleport being forced out there from Kush just to save that top lane tower. Now we're seeing rotations coming out from PUDS that we definitely did not see last game, where they are able to use this lead to at least force action reactively, not proactively, from Spectre Gaming.
Yeah, the only problem here, right, is this is not a PUDS team that is designed for team fights.
Something's about to happen.
We're going to put this on pause as Lake maybe in a little bit of trouble, but taking a chunk out of Slice, and here comes Swagasm.
Yeah, and here's Captain Holden as well. Swagasm's come through. We do get the last chapter. Captain Holden still trying to hold out, trying to take down Swagasm. Swagasm is going to be able to get away. Lake goes down. So far it's a 1-for-1 with Slice going down for Lake. So 2 Fed members down, but it looks like Holden is going to be able to clean up as it's going to be crit with the new gray screen. Captain Holden able to survive just long enough, just well enough to be able to get that last hit there, as every ADC wants, and it's going to be the Baron at least pinged on. Vision being cleared, but I don't know if that's a fight you still can take if you are PUDS. And yeah, they are going to walk away happy with their 2 kills, not looking to push too far.
Yeah, their health bar is a little bit too low. Spectre could have caused some issues if they had gone for that Baron call. But what I do want to call attention here to is, despite that fight win, that was a strange fight, but despite that fight win, we are at the point that the Ducks did not want to reach. They do not have a team fight comp here. They have a we win early and hard stomp comp. Spectre has held out just long enough that they're going to start falling off. In these team fights, Spectre has a much more coherent look to them. With the Fiora, with the Hecarim going in and buying space for Kush learning and crit to churn out the damage, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that unless the Ducks can end this game in the next 5, maybe 10 minutes at the outside, they're going to start facing some issues here.
I definitely agree. On top of which,
Learning might be in trouble, though. Learning is gone.
No, you have nothing to deal with that, and that is one way to do it. Catch people mid-rotation doing bad things, and you kill them. And now with no ADC and no jungler, it looks like it's going to be a free Baron. Well, maybe it cost them Landgren. We'll find out in a second. Lake going to get CC'd, going to get knocked back in, going to take a tower shot. I feel like I've said that before.
just a few times here. Lake might actually die to Landrin here, who is doing a whole lot of damage. The Baron goes down. Kush just
Steal?
a couple
Oh.
of seconds too late. Is
Yeah,
going to be able to walk away, though.
Yeah, is going to be able to get away. Lake is also going to be able to live. But two things. One, if you catch them mid-rotation, you don't have to worry about having a team fight. And two, I think they win team fights when the Ezreal isn't face-checking the Fiora. Just call me crazy here. But I think that might be a key to having a better team fight than the one we saw in the top lane a few minutes ago.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just a little bit. But we do see the Dragon Soul as well going over to PUDS. They now have the Dragon Soul, the Baron. They've now got a 2.5 item Twitch with a Collector. They have a 2.5 item Ezreal. They have a 2.5 item, or just, 2.5. We'll give it 2.5. Maokai, and a 2 item. Oh my God. Twitch
That's
is deleting
disgusting.
people. Yeah, no, this is I think we might be seeing the end you were looking for in 5 minutes. PUDS heard you.
Yeah, about time.
Yeah, they are pushing up, looking to get onto this tower. That final spark again, much like Final Flash, not too final. A little bit sparky though. It's gonna be another death. Kush is barely living. Is maybe gonna go down. Is gonna be able to get away, but it doesn't matter. That is going to be the inhibitor taking down Sliason on the bottom side, while the rest of the team is in the middle. But I don't think that's going to matter whether he gets that inhibitor or not, because they are taking tower. That is going to be Captain Holden taking super low. Wow. Captain Holden got pretty much messed up by a teammate hopping behind him. But on the other side, we do have Lake actually just doing the fight, doing the race, I should say. Thinks he's TK, but it's going to be Sliason just cleaning up everybody. Not worried. That's going to be Lake going down, or not Lake going down, excuse me. That's going to be Learning going down, as Lake is finally going to come back into the frame. Did have to teleport back. Did manage to take the top lane inhibitor. So that's something. But a tower left by the Nexus for Spectre Gaming. That maybe
Writing's on the wall here.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the trade you were looking for. It may have been the only trade that was available, but not the trade you were looking for. I mean, technically it was only an inhibitor for an inhibitor. You only gave up one inhibitor. So there's equal amounts of supered up lanes, technically.
It's the technically that scares me here for Spectre. It feels like there's not much they can do except for pray that Lake can somehow win the base race.
Yeah, and we also do see the third items finally coming through for the members of PUDS. We do have Infinity Edge coming through here for Captain Holden. We do have the Sherelda's Grudge coming through for Sliason. We do also, oh my God, we haven't been paying attention to the Yumi's itemization. Yumi has a 20 stack Meiji Soul Stealer to go along with that Ludens.
She hurts a little bit. AP Yumi has been problematic for a while here, has been in desperate need of some nerfs, and with damage like that onto crit, you can certainly see why.
Yeah, that was more the prowling projectile than it was the Twitch spray and pray by a lot. Twitch over the wall, gets the free auto. That's a double kill. Looking to go for this dive here now. It is going to be a rooted up Swagasm, and I don't think he gets the move really. Just going to go ahead and go down. It's going to be a triple kill as off screen Captain Holden is able to take down Learning, and that's going to be the game. PUDS is able to take game 2. They said, you know what? I didn't like game 1, so we're just going to not just throw a wrench. We're going to throw like 5 wrenches into your system. I don't think you're ready for it. And it
Forget
turns out
wrenches,
Spectre
they threw
Gaming
the
was
whole
not.
darn toolbox.
They definitely did. Tools. Yes. Tools. No matter what happens, I always wind up back at tools. But yeah, so Twitch
Twitch. Twitch.
That's the platform we're on. And yes, Twitch carried the platform. Gee, bus. 24,000 damage out of that Twitch. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Can you pull up the can you pull up the I think you're already into the next lobby. So Lake did 18,000 damage. Crit did 11,000 damage. No one else on the side of Spectre did over 10,000. Twitch did 24,000 damage. Ezreal did 17,000 damage. Malachi did 13,000 damage. Yuumi did 10,000 damage. While smarter men than me, also smarter women, and also smarter other, have said that doing damage to champions is not all there is to this game. At a certain point, it is.
Yeah, there's not much you can do when Twitch gets that far ahead if you can't kill the Twitch. And at some point, with an incredibly fed Yuumi, it becomes impossible to kill the Twitch. And I think that's just where the game ended. Which leaves the question of, does the Yuumi get through game 3? Because Spectre is going to be on blue for this next game. So if the Ducks do not ban it here, it will almost certainly go to Spectre. How does that change things?
I genuinely don't know. And I'm also of the same mind of, so last game, Yuumi was banned from red side because
Right.
you don't want blue side to first pick it. But also, it was PUDS on blue side, or sorry, PUDS on red side, where they are back now. Do you ban the Yuumi? Do you play chicken with them that they won't ban the Yuumi and won't pick it? Or do you pick a secret third item, which is you give them the Yuumi and you have an idea of what you want to do into the Yuumi and how integral was the Yuumi to the Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the other question is, can Lake play Twitch mid?
I wouldn't put it past them at this point.
For legal purposes, I must clarify that that was a joke. But the point being, someone on the side of Spectre needs to be able to take the Twitch if they're going to pull the Twitch Yuumi here. So there are a lot of questions, and we're going to get some answers shortly here in draft for game number 3.
Absolutely. Are we going right into it with no break? Because it looks like they're wanting to go.
We'll see if the teams want to go. Otherwise, we will step aside for just a couple of moments here. Not long, though, because it seems like these teams are ready to keep at it. We'll step aside for just a moment, and we'll be right back.
All right, we are back. Like I said, quick break. Well, like Aulz said, quick break. Very, very quick. And we are into pick and ban Spectre on the blue side, PUDS on the red side. We will see now what changes. We saw Spectre come out and run it, and then PUDS had to change their philosophy for pick and bans. Is Spectre going to change anything? At least currently doesn't look like it. We do get the Renata ban again, and it looks like the Karth is banned again. PUDS is also going to ban the Aatrox away from Lake. Still having reverberating memories from game one. Yep. And it's going to be the Syndra ban from Kush as well. They do not want to deal with that, not in the least. It's going to be a Gangplank ban from Spectre. Oh, and PUDS is going to ban the Yuumi. They said, I don't trust that you'll let me have this back. So
this leaves the Lucian open for learning. But if he picks the Lucian first item here, then PUDS takes away the Nami. So
no, they're going to take
do
the
smart
Sejuani
thing instead, yeah. And not pick either.
Is this the smart thing? Or were you maybe being sarcastic?
No,
Doesn't matter. It's going to be the Hecarim.
The
Swag
smart
is
thing
gonna
is
pick the Hecarim.
absolutely not to first pick the Lucian. They could first pick the Nami, because Lucian is worthless without Nami, but not the other way around. So what they did is they do leave the Lucian Nami open for the Ducks here. However, if it doesn't get taken, it gets taken pick 2-3 by Spectre, is my bet.
That is fair and good theory for what will likely play out, as we do see the Lucian pick from PUDS and the Nami pick as well. Way to go. You called it.
Almost like, despite repeated nerfs, it's still the most terrifying bot lane in League of Legends.
So I am curious now what Spectre has to answer it, because we did know it was coming. It's not like it's a surprise to us. It's more of a, are you going to let this happen? So what does Spectre have? They keep hovering the Jinx. This is the second or third time we've seen them hover the Jinx. It is going to be a Lulu. Are they going to go Lulu Jinx?
I mean, Lulu Jinx would be powerful. The Whimsy does offer both a movement and attack speed steroid, which are both incredibly valuable for the Jinx, who is normally a little bit immobile, but loves the attack speed, and they are going to take it here.
Yeah. So we do have both bot lanes already locked in, barring some more shenanigans, like maybe a Lulu mid. Never rule out Lulu mid. Lulu has actually disgusting base damages, and will level 3 kill anyone. Do not ever get it twisted. Lulu will level 3 kill just about anyone.
See,
If you think Lulu is joking around, Lulu will kill you. But
here's
it's going to be a
problem,
fiddlesticks for PUDS. Won't kill you after that.
Well,
that's the problem.
And Jinx early levels doesn't really have the damage. So what this is going to do is it's going to give Lucian Nami the early pressure. It's going to give them the early aggression, because as a Jinx Lulu, you know you're going to be seeding that. So the question is, does Swagasm take time out of his early power farming to keep his bot lane safe? Or do they seed that, knowing that the Lucian will fall off a cliff around the 3.5 item mark, and knowing that learning will hyperscale, and hope that they can get to that point?
That is actually a very good question. And we will find out. But we do have more bans. We do get Spectre again, banning out the Victor. There will be no Victors for Landrin. Not now, not ever, not on a plane, not on a train. PUDS on the other side banning out the Silas and the Fiora. Did not also like the Fiora. If this game goes 5 games, will there be 5 bans targeted at Lake?
Yeah, it's just gonna be, hey Lake, how deep is your champion pool?
It really does seem like every game there's a new top lane ban added, but it is going to be PUDS locking in that Sejuani, most likely going to go top for Captain Holden or Landrin at this point. Who knows? But
I am a little bit surprised. The Gragas is still available. That has been Holden's standby here in the top lane when the Gangplank is not available. I'm a little bit surprised, or I will be a little bit surprised, if the Sejuani is what he chooses instead here.
Well, Sejuani has to go somewhere. Maybe a Fiddlesticks mid? Middlesticks? You love a Middlesticks. But it is going to be a Renekton, most likely going top to Lake, though. Renekton mid is a thing. I've seen Faker play it.
Well, we saw it in this league, actually. We saw it get pulled out by JS Method. We
did. You are very correct. And it is going to be a Talia as well. So I'm going to double down on that Renekton top, Talia mid for Kush. We have seen Kush on that Talia before. Doesn't matter. Pud said, "Cool. Is it Talia? Wants to be not in lane? Cool. I'll play Twitch. I don't want to be in lane either."
They're just giving Holden the Twitch again. This is
Yeah.
interesting.
It is Landrin on the Sejuani, Holden on the Twitch, and it's literally going to be between Twitch and Talia who catches the other one slipping first. I love it. More importantly, here's what I like. I feel like Pud's up the stakes dramatically, and Spectre said, "Okay, we have to get out and have something that can roam and at least match the Twitch." And Pud said, "Let's see." Love it.
This
100%.
This is gonna get interesting here, Rod, because I almost feel like these teams, despite being not what was intended in game 1 for Spectre or game 2 for Puds with how they drafted their teams, despite being completely different from those games, both of the teams we have now have much more cohesive team fight identities. So if we get to 20, 25, 30 minutes, we're going to have some really fun fights.
That is very true. And between the Twitch and the Jinx, actually, I really like the balance that is available from the teams as well. Oh, you got a hyperscaling ADC? I got a hyperscaling ADC. Oh, you got an Empower? I got an Empower. You got a jungler that wants to hop into the back lane and make everybody run stupid directions? I got one of them too. You got an early game monster? I got an early game monster. I love it. It really is. It's like the episode of Recess where they had to take on the other school that had all the same people but different. It's the same thing where it's like I do what you do but different but the same.
I am having the worst case of deja vu because I swear I was on a cast where you made that exact same comparison before.
It may be. In my old age, do eventually run out of funny analogies, so it is possible.
Hey, cut yourself some
very
slack,
possible.
man.
Hey, I know I look magnificent, but I am double the age of some of our participants. So, just throwing that out there. I just age really, really well. Let me tell you
I
that.
didn't realize we had any 10-year-olds in this league.
Oh, you're wonderful. You're just the best. I love you. Like, I don't even know how to take that. That is so wonderful. Oh my god.
That being said, we have locked in teams and lane assignments here. Captain Holden on the Twitch again. How do we feel? No Yumi this time to back him up.
No Yumi. There is a Nami for team fights, but we'll not be able to make him faster, invisible, stronger, invisible. Hey, it's 2 people coming out of invisible instead of just 1. So may change the whole dynamic of the roams, or vice versa. May just be a Twitch surprise and you're dead. So we will find out. So like you said, and this is the question I actually have as well, because Fiddlesticks wants to kind of power farm too. Do you think Swag is going to be able to, and because we haven't seen it either game, has been the less active early game jungler? Do you think that still holds?
I think he has to show up here. I think we've seen what happens when Captain Holden is left alone. So he can't abandon Kush in the mid lane. We know what happens if pardon me. If Sliason gets ahead on the Lucian here, because Lucian Nami is such a dominant lane. So he can't leave learning and crit alone either. Lake will win against the Sejuani. It's a Sejuani. They exist to be there for late game. But those bot lanes, that side of the map has to be helped. They have to stay ahead, or at the very least even, moving into the mid game. Because when they fall behind, it's over. So Swagasm has to be active, is what I'm trying to say. Whether or not he wants to be, he has to be.
That is very, very fair. But we will see, because we're in a fight. And if there's one thing I know about people being in a fight, they revert back to whatever their nature is. And we've seen a lot of farming from Swag. So I wonder if he's going to be able to kind of break out of it or not. But we will find out. We have a little bit of a break for Spectator, and then we will find out who wins round 3 of this fight between Spectre Gaming and Performance Unenhanced Ducks. Do not go anywhere. The last 2 games have been a cavalcade of insanity. You can quote me on that. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon.
We'll be right back. One.
All right, we are back in game 2. Spectre Gaming, Performance Unenhanced Ducks. Going to be, so looks like it's already going to be some shenanigans. We do get pings going into a river bush, but no river bushing going to occur. It's going to be a regular 5-point. Looks like no one's making anything too crazy happen in the early game. We do see Slyson with the first strike on the Lucian as opposed to the press the attack. It is also going to be the first strike on the jungler here for PUDS. He's going to take it on the Fiddlesticks. That's the name of the champion. Sorry, I haven't seen it in a long time. But everyone else taking fairly standard runes. We again are going to see the, what is that? Hail of Blades. I wanted to call that press the attack. It is going to be the Hail of Blades again for Captain Holden. Going to get out those 3 quick autos on that Twitch and try to take all the damage possible. So, what is going to happen here?
Well, that's anyone's guess, but I do want to stop for a second and applaud BTL as a community. I will have to check the numbers, but I'm pretty sure Fiddlesticks is somewhere around the 130th unique champion that has been played this season. We have seen just about every champ in the game over the course of this season. Which makes it awesome.
Sound consistent.
Because it means that nobody has any idea what's going to get drafted game to game.
Yeah, that does sound like how I feel most of the time, yes. That said, we do get a little bit of a trade going down in the bot lane immediately. Do get the aggression out of this Lucian. Nami trying to get that level 2 as fast as humanly possible. We did see the 2 camp take there from Nerubius, getting a little bit of a camp lead, already up about a whole camp on to Swagasm. Maybe if he actually gets the thing. Yeah, does get the thing. Is going to be moving on to his 3rd camp while Swagasm is still on the 2nd. We do already have Kush out of lane looking for Captain Holden. Holden getting a ton of damage on the Kush. Kush does wind up getting that, what is it? Not worked ground.
Unstable ground.
Yeah, unstable ground. Yeah, no. There's so many champions being played. I can't just be like pre-prepped for every champion ability, but it is going to be Swagasm going on to Nerbius, gonna dash in there really fast and then run away really fast as well.
Swagasm's
not able to get
way
anything.
too deep.
Oh no, Kush is gonna go down. Captain Holden able to. Oh, the flash just barely flashes out of both of the mid laners and the ghost use as well from Captain Holden, and that is going to be early game aggression. Let me tell you what. Nerbius is gonna walk into Lake, just get a little slash at him. But it looks like there might be not gonna be a fight over the Scuttle Crab. Swagasm is able to take it fairly quickly, and we do again see some aggression coming out of that bot lane there. Able to get Learning and Crit pushed in. Slicin and Fun Phoenix just hanging around, having a good time. But it looks like all the CS is gonna get picked up, or at least they missed one. Oh, that feels bad.
Man, that one CS, that could mean the difference here between a win and a loss. I say that as Sliacen's going in. Takes
my
Crit
God.
very,
it's gonna
very
get rooted
low.
up, though. It's going to get rooted up. A very nice bubble there from Fun Phoenix, and that's going to be the Ignite used on the Learning. Sliacen able to stay alive, but yeah, dashed back into the traps. Very well played there by Learning, able to make sure that even though the trade, at least initially, looked really lost, was recoverable with very good placement.
And Sliacen being very greedy here, has 2 biscuits in his back pocket, thinks he can heal up without them, so going to hold on to those for the next fight. Could mean a little bit of a health difference that Learning and Crit don't expect.
Does have that Yuumi heals though, and they are doing their job because is back up to about even health with Learning. That ebb and flow able to make sure that Sliacen is not wanting for health should anything happen. We do go back to the top lane though, where there is actually a significant gold lead, or CS lead I should say, for Landrin. Lake, I believe, backed already, did get the longsword there, so Landrin not doing too bad, doing significantly better at 5 minutes than last game. We do see Lake going on to Landrin. Landrin is maybe going to go down. Yeah, it's going to go down. Lake is able to get that last auto. Did survive with about 100 gold. And that's going to be first blood on the Lake. Finally able to win the early trade fully, I should say, as opposed to the almost and the so close that we've seen for the first 2 games.
Yeah, and that actually came down to a misplay by Landrin. Didn't have quite enough mana for the permafrost there. If he'd been able to get that out, Lake would have died, would have lost first blood to the Sejuani, and would have probably been ragged on for that for the rest of the series. But
that is about true. But yeah, we do see Swagasm coming through now. Is actually not going to know that Sliacen or Fun Phoenix are hiding in the bush. Oh, that feels bad. That feels so bad. They have all the information. They do see them now, but it doesn't matter. They have all the information.
Lake has hit 6. Lake with the Dominus is going in hard here.
Yeah, is going to be able to force out the flash from Landrin. Landrin just teleported back. Almost had a Han Shin Shin there. Is able to survive, but Swag literally dashed past them on the bot side. It feels so bad. But yeah, the Sejuani able to live, but did wind up having to use a lot to live there. And it is now, what is that, a 400 gold lead for this here Renekton, close to it. And basically zoning him off the wave. But on the other side of the map, it is going to be the dragon being started by Swag and the boys down here.
Not much way for Nerbius to get that, so I think that is as good as taken, as Landrin taking another big chunk from Lake here.
Yeah, that is not looking fun. We do have Holden now looking to get some action. Is level 6. That is going to be a knock-up onto Swagasm. There is going to be an ultimate going out, but it is going to be Learning able to get the kill. And now Sliacen trying to walk away, trying to get more damage on the Swagasm. Swagasm does live with about 125 health. It is going to be the Dragon plus a kill. Learning able to get it on the Jinx. You love to see it if you were Spectre Gaming.
Yeah, all the Spectre fans in the crowd have to be heaving a sigh of relief right now. Captain Holden not able to get quite as early of a lead here might open a window for Spectre to, pardon me, take this third game. Of course, they gotta keep it going. They can't just get one kill on him and assume that the job is done. But it's a whole lot easier than it was last game. As Sliason, very low, gets rooted up and will fall here to learning.
The Chompers again, placing the Chompers behind Sliason, seeing that Sliason is basically dashing straight out, not at an angle, and saying, that's fine, you're cut off. I'm going to go ahead and get this kill. And just like that, that is a 2-kill Jinx. 8 minutes into the game, that is another one of those champions like Twitch you don't want to accelerate. Already has a Noon Quiver, likely going to come back with either finished boots or, if my math is right, would not have enough for a finished item, but that is a very, very nice knockback there from Kush, able to get a pretty solid chunk of Captain Holden. Chunk might not be a strong enough word, able to take half of Holden's health. Holden now holding on to this lane, trying to get it pushed in for a safe back.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a CS lead. However, the chunks coming out of Kush make it increasingly dangerous for Twitch to stay in this lane. Problem is, who's he going to go roam to? Lake, with the Dominus, with the Cold Meek, almost wins any trades with multiple people.
It goes in, but that's going to be the ultimate from Nervius, and Lake is just going to go down. Gets CC'd, gets feared, gets knocked around. Landrin trying to stay alive now. They are going to be able to fear Swagasm out a little bit. Fun Phoenix trying to get crit on the backside. Landrin able to get the permafrost onto Swagasm. Swagasm now trying to run away. Landrin does try to hop back in, is not going to be able to get the kill. It's going to be the wild growth being used. It's going to be Swagasm still trying to live, but it's going to go down. Fun Phoenix is going to get the kill though, and that is a 2-4-1 on the side of Performance Unleashed Ducks. I definitely almost said Pod of Dolphins again.
Well, you're still just slightly wrong. They are not the Unleashed Ducks, they are the Unenhanced Ducks, my friend.
Dang it!
But you will get there. Fun Phoenix
You know what? They
has
unleashed some
found Kush.
performance. They unleashed some performance, okay?
True.
But it looks like it's going to be the Rift Herald being taken there for Nerubius. Was right place, right time, able to help the top laner win that fight, or at least stay alive long enough for it to be a fight one overall.
Nerubius got forced off the Rift Herald there.
Oh, yeah. Lake came back with Swagasm and said, we will not be doing that. That is not yours. We don't like you having neutral objectives. We saw what happened last time once you got all 4 of those dragons, and we don't agree. But yes, we do now have a reset, and we can kind of take a look at the state of everything. There is still no Bami Cinder there for that Sejuani up in the top lane, but is going to have teleport coming up soon. Looks like was trying to get the wave to push in, but was not able to do so, and is now Lake with yet again an advantageous wave state. Is going to dash out of any potential CC and be fine. It is going to be the Rift Herald actually being started by Swagasm now. Does have the Caulfield's Wardhammer. Does actually not indexing into the boots first thing like we saw last time.
Captain Holden
very
push
nice
under the
knock
turret
by
here.
Kush. Yeah, Holden is taken super low. Is under 300 health. Gonna dash, not dash, but scurry is the right word. Scurry away. Very well played by Kush there. Has been landing all of the appropriate seismic shoves to make sure that the lane phase with Captain Holden is significantly easier than it was last game. That said, Lake, just bully. That's it. That's the only word I can say that properly describes what I imagine laning against Lake is. It's like getting bullied all day.
Lake does have about a 20 CS lead right now. However, Landrin is doing a good job of at least keeping these fights even. Lake isn't taking a whole lot more health than they're taking or losing themselves. We do see the Dominus popped here, but Landrin with the permafrost is going to be all right.
Yeah, did use the permafrost, did have to use the glacial prison as well, but again, perfectly fine. Not. Ooh, gotta watch out though. Does still have the Dominus up, and now it looks like there's gonna be a fight going on. That's gonna be Swagasm onto the backside. Is going to fear everybody, but seismic shoves, amazing by Kush. That's gonna be the Super Mega Death Rocket getting a kill for Learning, a double kill for Learning. Lake going to get stunned up as well. Kush still fighting Holden. Holden now getting some damage, is able to flash out the seismic shove, and is at least gonna get a kill back. And it's gonna be really, dog, really.
That hurt to watch. As As a top laner, you feel bad, but as a top laner, you also say, yeah, that was greedy. That was incredibly greedy, and Lake deserved to get punished for that.
Just come on, man. Like, I don't have anything else to say at this point. Like, you want to be like kind of objective about it and what have you, but like, aren't you tired of this? I'm tired of this, and it's not even happening to me. Like, just stop diving them. Stop. Please. Stop. But we did see another one fight for Spectre Gaming, even with the 2 deaths on the bot side. We do not have
Sliason cannot be there.
No, he is dead. Super dead. Is going to be Crit getting the kill as opposed to learning the slow and the picks, stealing the kill from the ADC. Oh no, it's only assist, but it looks like it's going to be Nerubius trying to get this ult off, is going to get sped up and is going to be able to at least get a bunch of damage on the learning. That's going to be the wild growth plus the flash, lot used, plus a teleport coming in from Landrin. But now we do see Swagasm on the side. They're still trying to get onto anyone. They are likely going to be able to take down Crit. Crit is going to go down. It's going to be a shutdown gold for Nerubius. Nerubius is 1-1-3. That is going to be a fantastic get back. Probably the only thing that was available to them, but it did cost them the teleport, and is going to give some more plates over there to oh my god, these seismic shoves from Kush are amazing. Lake getting some free gold as well, but Kush able to survive until that spray and parry came out, and now might rethink that engagement.
Yeah, but here are the key words, right? Able to survive. Captain Holden has not been able to do what he did last game, where he could just show up and delete Kush, delete learning, delete Crit whenever he wanted. Only has 1 kill so far this game, and just hasn't been able to hit the same marks that he was last game, making this Twitch feel a whole lot less useful than he did in game number 2.
That is very, very true. Is not the same monster that we saw. Is also running away from Swagasm, which again, not something we saw previously, but it looks like it's going to be Fun Phoenix. Maybe caught out here, is going to flash. There's going to be the tidal wave. It's going to force Swagasm to just walk away. Not really too concerned. Is now going to dash back in, is going to use the Onslaught of Shadows. Holden is trying, is going to at least survive. Fun Phoenix keeping him alive. Sliason is adding some good cover fire there as Holden is able to live with, again, a sliver of health. If that super mega death rocket had been accurate from across the map, that whole fight is entirely different.
Absolutely. It gives Jinx the reset she needs to get there. It keeps Swagasm alive. But ifs do not win games.
That is fair. That is very, very fair. But we do see the Gale Force coming in for learning with a Zeal already. Actually looks like maybe ahead of just about everybody else as far as item is concerned. We do have the Kimpunk Chainsword coming in for Swagasm. Lake is going to have his first encounter with Captain Holden here as he tries to secure this tower. Not going to be able to get it, but oh no. Fun Phoenix, maybe he's caught out, is going to a defensive bubble, a zoning bubble, to make sure that Lake is not able to aggress any further onto this here support for PUDS.
Yeah, I do want to back up just a little bit, because you mentioned it very briefly. This Chempunk Chainsword start from, never mind,
Ooh,
Lake is
Lake
very
is done.
dead. Very,
Nerubius
very
gets
dead.
the kill again, enjoying the good old-fashioned wall-hopping abilities of Fiddlesticks, and I do understand why you would want that in a game where you are trying to show up from unexpected angles. Fiddlesticks is able to do that, even though there were no wards on that side either. Lake was pushing up blind and just being Aggie.
Yeah, and this has been a problem for Lake all series, right? Lake just playing a little bit too aggressive, getting punished for it. Swagasm
nice
may have been
glacial
infected by the bug, going very deep himself.
Goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. Is not going to go down. Crit was nearby. Crit also. Ooh, ew, that was almost a bad.
We're on
eco.
Twitch, my friend. Be very careful with that slip of the tongue.
Crit has the wild growth, but yes, that almost was a almost changed our rating a lot there. But would have been able to keep Swagasm alive. That said, not necessary. A lot of things used there for not a lot gained. We did see the tower go down in mid lane as well for learning. Learning almost ready for that. I assume it's going to be a Phantom Dancer coming in, but I'm not 100% sure. But we are going to see a fight around this dragon. It's only a 1,000 gold lead for Spectre Gaming. So tight game, 17 minutes in. This is the tightest game we've had at 17 minutes in. We do see the Hex Gate used there to get Nerubius into the area. And we're going to get a proper team fight.
Nerubius is going to face check Swagasm here. This could be problematic for the Fiddlesticks
Ooh,
flashing
does get the
away.
fear off. Yeah, that is going to be the tidal wave being used as well. Landron on the other side trying to get something to happen. They are able to force out the flash from Kush as well. On the other side of the map, it's Lake. Deep, and going to go down. Slice is able to get the kill. We do see the Glacial Prison used on Kush, but that is going to be the onslaught of shadows by Swagasm trying to get Landron. Is going to finally be able to get him to go down. Is going to also be Nerubius going down as the Jinx gets shut down. Does not get a double kill. Colden
now has the double.
Down. There's the double kill. Yeah,
looking
was
for more.
exhausted. Learning.
Does he
not
have Fun Phoenix here?
Scared.
The crit
I think
manages
so.
it. Triple kill
Oh
for
my
the
God.
Jinx.
Quad.
Good
Excuse
grief.
me, sir. Do you squat? Because have you seen my quad?
Good
Fantastic.
grief.
Learning said, my turn.
Learning said, I'm going to teach today.
Oh, we're playing hyperscaling marksman? I do that.
Lake's
Lake
going to
Dog
die here for the
Oh.
turret.
Does get the turret, is maybe going to get it. No, just, bro. This is painful. Does get the tower, though. Does get the tower, and it is looking like the Rift Herald is going to go over to the side of Spectre Gaming as well. But
Just in time, too. Would have despawned in about 8 seconds.
Lake is 1-5, and I cannot say I have seen Lake have this kind of performance at all since Lake joined the league.
I will say, the death in the dragon fight was justified. He managed
yes.
to force 5 members out of position by virtue of taking the Hex Gate behind them. That was a
Yes.
good death.
That was
Every
absolutely
other
great.
death.
Took 2 of them, 3 of them low as well, while the rest of the team kind of kited back the initial CC and combo. So yeah, no, that was a great death. Not much I can say about many of the other ones though.
No, I will say, if
Uh-oh.
Lake can
Holden
continue
is-
to do... Holden
Oh, I
thinking
thought he
about
was going to
it.
get crit. I thought he was going to get crit. Was trying to flank. That is going to be the Glacial Prison, but it's going to miss. Kush is going to be okay. And yeah, Lake has managed to get 2 towers.
Yeah, I will say, if Lake manages to continue eating important cooldowns when he dies, if he takes Sliason's ult or Fun Phoenix's ult defensively, if somebody has to flash away from him, if Landron uses the Glacial Prison to try and save his backline from Lake, then the deaths are fine. The fact that he's 1-5 is fine because that buys space for learning. The problem is, he has to be able to actually get something with his death.
Yes. Also, I just want to make note that we are on pace for like a 28-minute 3-item IE Jinx.
Not scary. Not scary.
To you, maybe. It definitely seems like it would be scary to PUDS.
I'm a Shen
that
main. I
is-
press W. He doesn't get to have play.
There is no Shin in this game, though.
I know.
Absolutely no Shin.
But yes,
there is
learning is terrifying.
going to be a Rift Herald drop top lane, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of Baron positioning coming through on the side of Spectre. We do have, looks like Nerubius is actually going to be the one to answer it. Sliason also going to be there. They are able to get a little bit of vision with the blue trinket, able to see what's going on this Baron. Going to be another yellow trinket ward used.
Only
but
Landron's
Nerubius
here
is
in time.
far
Can
away.
Nerubius get over the wall?
There's going to be the
The tidal wave is
tidal
enough.
wave. Yeah, it's going to keep them off. Swagasm's going to have to run away.
Swagasm
What
is
was
dead
that?
here.
Oh my God! Gets
No,
hit with
he's
the-
not.
oh,
He
it-
smites the blue buff and survives.
That was crazy. That was
That is a
wow.
400 IQ play right there from the Horseman.
They are going to have to walk away, but that was what, 2 of the important CC ults being used. What a seismic shove by Kush. Kush is still just doing the work, learning now, going through. Oh, he's going to get the kill, and that's going to be the resets. We do see Nerubius on the backside. It doesn't matter. That's going to be a double kill for Learning, able to get a kill again on those running away. And excuse me, Nerubius went down, did try to ult into the backline, and it was not effective. How did the second kill for Learning come through? I'm trying to figure that out. I saw the ultimate and the explosion kill one, and then there was like a subsequent something that got the second kill, but I couldn't tell where it went or how it happened.
Onto Nerubius. Because Nerubius was in vision when he channeled that ult, or when the ult went off, he did not get the fear effect on it. He only gets the fear on his ult if the entire channel is out of vision. So when Swagasm pushed forward, when Swagasm helped to make sure that that rocket hit and killed Landrin, Nerubius
That is nice.
was
I did not know that.
just completely screwed over, unfortunately. And that led to Learning being able to turn and burn through the Fiddlesticks health bar.
I just want to know, how did Sliason die there? I don't understand what happened.
Sliason, I believe, died to Kush.
No, Sliason died to Learning, because Learning had a double kill. 3 people died.
I thought the double kill was on Landrin Nerubius.
Nerubius was killed by Kush.
Well, in that case, I don't know.
It doesn't
Lake
matter.
is in
Here
the
comes
back
the
line,
fight.
though.
Kush is going to... Oh, Lake is going to go ahead and get the double kill now. Swagasm is going to go ahead and try and clean up Fun Phoenix. It is going to be a shutdown. Nerubius is able to take down Learning, but it's not going to matter. The rest of the team losing this fight handily. Now there is only Landrin and Nerubius trying to get away. There is going to be the fear used on Swagasm. Is going to do a little bit, but I think Nerubius is going to die. Is going to go golden, but I don't know that that's going to matter, bud. There's not going to be any getting away, and now it's Landrin just killing time, trying to stay alive as long as humanly possible, and is able to do so, but I think that's going to be the Hextech Dragon Soul for Spectre Gaming.
Yeah, Hextech Soul on a Jinx is terrifying, because that means that she gets to run you down with her rockets.
Oh, do you mean the Jinx who actually got the Infinity Edge not at 28 minutes, but at 25 minutes? That Jinx?
Yeah, the Jinx who's 10-1, who, despite having been shut down for 1,000 gold, still has a 600 gold shutdown on her head. That Jinx, yeah.
I can't imagine how that would be bad.
No, none of that.
Oh no.
Captain
Oh,
Holden
no.
may have found Kush here, but Learning is in the area. 2 auto attacks will take down the rat.
No. So I made a very long analogy while we were off the air, because it takes me like 8 minutes to get through to my point when I make an analogy sometimes, where I said game 1 was rock, paper, scissors, and then game 2 PUDS basically said, I don't actually, we're going to change the middle of the game. We're playing bolt cutter, box cutter, brick. And then Spectre, I said game 3 was Spectre saying, okay, I'll try to play that too. And Talia bought the bricks. That's it.
Yeah.
Just threw a brick into Sliason's face. We only have to say your name right when you're playing well. And
Okay.
that was it. I know, that's a little rough. Nerubius does able to get over the wall, get 1 kill, get 2 kills, gets a shutdown gold as well, able to do enough work to at least keep this game going for a minute. Swagasm trying to get away from Captain Holden. Holden wants to kill, but is only going to find a very healthy Lake, not a very low Swagasm, and that's going to be a magnificent use of the Prowler's Clutter to go ahead and get that kill for Lake. And now we see Swagasm on the background. Langren trying to get the stun, but it's not going to matter. Here comes Crit with the save. Landgren's going to go down, and it is a Lake still alive, still taking tower shots. That's what we do. They got the shutdown gold off the Jinx.
They sure did. It's a little late, unfortunately, for that, but they did it.
Hey, gold is gold. So I don't think the Twitch worked as well in game 3.
No, Kush did a much better job able to actually handle it here. Able to make sure that Captain Holden couldn't get out of lane, couldn't be problematic.
Yeah, absolutely did a great job. Was able to roam with, but also in the trades in mid lane was able to get, like, has not missed a seismic shove in a vital moment all game, to where when Holden starts to trade, the seismic shove immediately either pushes them into tower range or out of auto range, and it has been a very good Talia game from Kush. Downright toffish.
So, well, this game isn't over though.
Yeah, we do see Landrin going on to Kush. Kush is now taking a ton of damage, but Learning is able to kill Sliason on the backside. No. Learning does not care about your aggression right now. That is a very nice bubble from Fun Phoenix, able to stop Learning from... Actually, nope, did not hit Learning, hit somebody else, doesn't matter. Learning is able to kill up Landrin, and now is chasing down Fun Phoenix on the other side, not worried. Actually said, you know what, I have enough kills. I'd like some towers now. Takes one of those, takes an inhibitor too for the collection, and may be able to end the game. There is only Fun Phoenix up on the side of PUDS, and that is looking like maybe a dead Fun Phoenix. They're trying to fountain dive again. Lake, come on, dog.
Lake likes looking at the world in grayscale, apparently.
Magnetized to them tower shots. Does not matter. Has to search them out, has to find them, but it doesn't matter. That is going to be a game to kill and win for Spectre Gaming. Whew. I like the escalation that's going on here. I want to see what comes next, because the way this is going, the next thing that's going to happen is like an Aurelian Soul support.
Oh gosh, please don't curse us with an Aurelian Soul support. I don't need to see that.
It's it's not off the table. It's not off the table. That's all I'm saying. Not off the table. There has been just a constant, oh, okay, I see you. Hang on, I got something for you. It's like that scene from Don't Be a Menace, where it was like a knife and then a gun and then a rocket launcher and then like the super rocket launcher. Yeah, no, we just gonna keep upping it, and I love it. Just keep increasing the amount of insanity that is likely to happen. But this game, significantly closer for 20 minutes, 18 minutes than the first two games have been. So is it possible they're kind of getting closer to figuring each other out?
It's possible. I mean, we still have 2 games left, so anything is on the table. The Ducks could still come back and take this match. But we'll have to see if they have the answers here. Nothing is certain.
Yeah, that is very true. I do want to point out, despite not being able to secure any kills, or securing only one kill, I should say, Twitch actually still did the most amount of damage on the side of performance unenhanced Ducks. And from the math, still looked like it was a problem. Just there was another hard scaling marks person that was a much, much bigger problem.
Yeah, I mean, comes down to the battle of the ADCs. The one with more gold in the pocket will always win the game.
That
Not much more that can be said other than that.
Yep, that is pretty much how it goes. But we will be back with game 4, Spectre Gaming, performance unenhanced Ducks. Maybe they can send a quick text to Jose Canseco and see if they can, get another boost and figure out what's going to happen, because we have only seen just levels on levels on levels of depth for, I have something new, I have something interesting, this is going to be fun. So I promise you game 4 doesn't seem like it's going to let off. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere,
so
folks. We'll be back.
Okay, we are back in the Champ Select for Game 4 Performance Unenhanced Ducks. Spectre Gaming. Spectre, to my knowledge, does not stand for something, but it could. I've seen Get Smart. Chaos stood for something. I think Spectre does in comics, actually, but I digress. Aatrox ban, Syndra ban, PUDS still not wanting to see those again. Spectre gonna go ahead and ban the Karthus and the Gangplank. Similar bans that we saw last game. Oh, there we go. They are not going to give the Hecarim to Swagasm.
And this
Spectre,
is a nice change of pace. He's had that for all of the first 3 games. So
yeah,
taking
and
him
we
off
do
of that.
the Yumi ban as well. Again, constant change. The only thing that stays the same is change, and we get the Sejuani first pick. Is this going to be Landrin on the Sejuani again?
Unless they decide that it's time to take Captain Holden off the Twitch, which it may well be, because game number 3 did not have the success of the surprise pick in game number 2.
That is true, but that also makes me wonder, does Captain Holden have some other shenanigans up their sleeve, like, say, an Aurelian Soul?
If you curse us with an Aurelian Soul top lane, I'm
I'm
gonna
just
mute your
saying.
mic on stream.
But we do get the Nami being picked by Spectre. Most likely going to be the Lucian here, unless it's going to be a Nami Twitch. That would be crazy. No, it's going to be a Nami Trundle. Okay. I see what's going on here.
See,
I like what's going on here.
this is a nice little bait by Spectre, because the Lucian is available. And Sliason has played the Lucian a couple of times. However, Lucian without Nami is not viable. Nami without Lucian, Nami on another ADC, is perfectly fine. So they can either bait PUDS into taking the Lucian here and suffering for it, or
Nope.
they can save the Lucian and potentially have a counter pick here now that they see the bot lane of the Ducks.
It is going to be a Phelios Lulu for the bot lane of the Ducks, but I do want to say Lucian Lulu is bootleg Lucian Nami. It's not as good, but it could function. It's not terrible. But we're not going to find out, because that is, like you called, the Lucian being picked for Spectre Gaming. And we will now see some bans most likely targeted. Yep. There's the Victor. There will be no Victor this game for Landrin, even though Landrin is probably on the Sejuani at this point. Do you think this is they're playing 3D, 4D, 5D, 8D chess by PUDS to keep putting Landrin on the Sejuani and hoping that eventually a Twitch ban is going to free up the Victor for Landrin?
It's possible. I do not like it here. The Twitch was a surprise pick. It succeeded because they weren't expecting it.
They banned the Talia. I think they're thinking it.
I feel like the correct choice here, if you're the Ducks, is to rotate back into something more standard, something a little bit more sane. And with that, be able to kind of re-control things again. Because you've already blown your surprise. You're not going to do that again. You're not going to get that standout game again by virtue of Spectre not expecting it. So if you go back to something standard, something that you know you can play, you'll be in better shape.
Ooh.
And Camila's a great Twitch counter because she says,
Yeah,
sure,
it is.
I'll be on top of you. Would you like to die for it?
Yeah, it is. We do get the Camille. Camille Galio being a very, very popular combo also allows you to counter a lot of the Twitch roams, with the Talia being banned there on the side of PUDS. Oh, Wukong?
Wukong could be for Captain Holden here in the top lane if they decide to put the Sejuani on Nerubius. Wouldn't be
Could also be a
out of the
Wukong
question.
jungle.
Could be a Wukong jungle, although we haven't seen that quite as much since his rework.
I thought it was he got reworked and he was really strong in the jungle, and then they nerfed some of his jungle stuff, because at first he was all Ooh, it is a Wukong mid. Wukong
I
mid.
don't know. We've seen some pretty high singed mid win rates recently,
That is
especially in a higher elo. So we
That
could
is
be seeing the
fair.
singed mid.
I would think it would be Singed into Camille because you can just flip her away, prevent her from jumping, and run away really, really fast. And then the Wukong mid with the Sejuani. But you make a good point. You make a good point. I just I love what's going on here. This is what, like, you sign up for League of Legends, but you secretly hope that you're just gonna see crazy stuff sometimes. And almost all split, I've been like, oh, it could be this crazy thing. And everybody's been like, no, we're just gonna play this standard. And then we get to the finals and they're like, yo, everything.
We heard you wanted weird.
We heard you were not satisfied with people just playing things you've seen all season. So how about all of it? I am so very grateful for the shenanigans, for the, is it going here? Is it going there? The legitimate confusion. And I just wish it happened more. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun here. These teams saying we now have nothing to lose, so we're gonna play with everything we have.
Emptying their pockets, sifting through the lint, checking for sock money, whatever we have, we're gonna spend it right now. And that is what makes any competition the most fun, when somebody finally gets down to like the is now or never, and then they're like, they don't go, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pick some shit you don't know about. Ha ha ha. Love it. But that said, PUDS has like 3 different permutations for top mid jungle that are all in their own way viable.
Yeah, there's a
and each one has their own. I could see why you would do that. I could see why that would be good. That it just.
Could we see a singed jungle? Is there a world in which we ever see a singed jungle?
Singed jungle is hard but not impossible. The ganks are really good, but it generally takes them too long to become the annoying drain tank.
Oh, for those of you who are curious, by the way, we are holding on client draft for just a moment, so please do bear with us here as we talk about singed jungle, which is definitely going to have some relevance on this game.
Hang on, because this is a thing that still exists that people pretend doesn't. Lulu jungle still happens.
So what do you send support then? Do you send a Sejuani support?
No, you send the Singe support. Singe support is also a thing, and it is really annoying, especially if, say, you're Lucian, who likes to dash, and now you can't dash.
You make a compelling argument.
Like, it is legitimately a thing. Lulu jungle is legitimately a thing, but there are only like 5 people I know that I know of that have played it since like season 5. Who was it? It was one of the Korean junglers played it like in the preseason, like way back, and then they were like, no, we don't want this. We don't want this. No, like literally Riot was like, absolutely flipping not, and nerfed the crap out of it. But it came back this season. There is like a couple different Masters players that play Lulu jungle across the world that it's, if you know what you're doing, it's viable.
Yeah, I just
does
hear...
Nerubius know how to play Lulu jungle?
Perhaps
Giant
not.
question mark. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, but I just want to throw it out there. Since we're already in the box of weird, it is a possibility.
And to be fair, this is a Ducks team that has had no scruples about not doing weird stuff. They are perfectly fine with the weird.
Yeah, again, I would literally yell until my neighbors knocked on the door if it was a Lulu jungle. I don't know if that's the desired outcome for PUDS as opposed to, winning, but it would be something.
You say as opposed to. Are you saying that a Lulu jungle cannot win the game?
It can. It would be hard, but it can. That is fair. But also just in general, Machine Gun Lulu, always fun. I don't think that there's a Lulu jungle build currently that's like semi-supportive, because you no longer get like the smite bonuses like you used to get way back when, where like smiting this would allow you to stun things and all that good stuff, which is how Lulu was able to clear then. I think it has to be on hit AD Machine Gun Lulu to, maybe not AD, but like combo build AD Machine Gun Lulu to jungle, which may be viable now that I'm looking at PUDS' team. You got a bruiser, you got 2 tanks, and a Machine Gun Lulu with a Machine Gun Aphelios. Maybe.
We may have had a little bit too long here between draft lull and client draft if we've gotten this far into the theory crafting weeds. But
Maybe, but it looks like it's going to be Singe top for all the shenanigans we have seen PUDS use. We have not seen them do the champ position swap adventure, so looking like it's going to be, or at least it's going to be singed on Captain Holden. Could still go mid, I suppose. It's going to be Camille Trundle, not Trundle Camille. Camille Jungle has also been nerfed to very, very niche, so I don't think that's ever coming back either. Riot really loves making champions viable in jungle and then hating them for being viable in jungle, but there it is! Oh no, it is going to be the Wukong jungle. Looks like it's going to be Singed on Captain Holden, Landgren on the Sejuani, and that could mean that either or is going to be top lane versus the Camille. Ooh.
yeah, no answers quite yet. Swain feels like an unenjoyable matchup for both of these players at the moment.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused why it's not a solo lane Wukong, unless the solo laners just generally do not play it, and it was Nerubius specifically wanting it, which that's fair. Again, if you got it, you better play it. You can't take it home with you if you are PUDS.
Nah, man, he's saving the flash for next season.
Oh, it could be that. Like, I don't.
I've been watching a bit of the CS:GO majors right now. One of their top players, James, is infamous for saving in bad situations. Just when in doubt, always saves. Maybe PUDS are saying maybe we should save some of our secrets for next season so that we still have something in the tank next time we want to make a run.
I mean, that is a strategy. That is certainly a strategy in League of Legends, or in the general macro sense of life. A strategy. I cannot recommend it, but a strategy for sure. But looks like it is going to be the Singe, Wukong, Sejuani lanes, specifics to be undetermined, with Aphelios Lulu on the side of PUDS. And for Spectre Gaming, it's going to be Camille, Trundle, Swain, Lucian, Nami. And actually, so here's Singed into Camille is an okay matchup until Camille goes Camille.
So until she gets 700 gold and gets a Sheen.
I mean, you can still generally survive the Sheen, but like, yeah, once she gets that Sunder, it's rough unless you have enough speed to just outrun her. I feel like Singed and Sedge, like you said, into Swain, either one of those sounds like a good matchup.
Never Move, it turns out, is a really good ability for being annoying to melee champions.
Yeah. So I really wonder which laner is going to go where on the side of PUDS, because I don't think either one of them wants to face Swain. Sejuani, unless there's a secret I don't know. I feel like Camille eventually gets to the same problem with Sejuani that Singed has, where it's just, if you aren't CCing me, I will. Yeah, if you aren't CCing me multiple times, I'm going to run you down, and I'm going to take large chunks of your health. Good luck. So, I don't.
This is going to be interesting for the Ducks. If they can manage to force Camille to stay side lane, and Camille cannot join fights, I think they have the better team fight. The issue is the moment that Camille gets added to the 5-man mix, I think that it becomes problematic because she has a very clear target, right? She goes on to the Aphelios and the fight is over. The moment
Right,
Sliacing gets
right.
removed from the fight, there's nothing else that PUDS can do because they built around having the Aphelios as their damage threat, the one pumping here. So I
That
think it's going to be a very, very narrow tightrope for Holden and Landrin to make sure that Lake is always occupied in the side lane.
That is, yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. I 100% agree. And we will find out exactly how occupied Lake will be. Or maybe they're playing the I bet Lake takes a tower shot and now we can fling them and or stun them game.
We'll have to see.
5D chess. But we'll find out very shortly after the spectator delay. Don't go anywhere. Game 4, PUDS, Spectre Gaming. We get to find out if we are going to a game 5 or if PUDS maybe went one step too far in the pocket picks.
We'll be right back.
All right, here we go. Game number 4, Spectre Gaming. PUDS, not in that order, but
Other order, actually.
yeah. The Ducks playing for their life. I feel like I've seen that movie a couple times, 3 times. Ducks playing for their life
The Mighty Ducks?
against the odds. Yeah,
30 seconds until minions.
different ducks, same ducks. Ducks fly together, you know. But it is a 5-man stack here for Spectre Gaming. Looking to maybe catch somebody out here, but not going to happen. Very defensive start for Fun Phoenix on this. Lulu not walking up into the river, not walking up anywhere that they could be seen. And that 5-man stack is going to result in nothing, but nothing is going to be lost. So it's mostly okay, right?
Yeah, not the end of the world. You know, you tried, you figured it's worth a shot here. If you're Spectre, you're already up a game, you can afford to play a little bit fast and loose here.
Yeah, and that is very true, but it looks like it's going to be Holden up in the top lane against Lake on the Camille. Singed has a better matchup into Camille, I think, than Sedge. But like I said, neither one of them has a great matchup, I think, into this Swain. So we have to see if these solo laners on the side of PUDS can once again pull a magic trick rabbit out of their hat, duck out of their hat, or if it's going to be just one of those solo laners running over people. Lake has attempted to multiple times today run over people in their towers.
And their their junglers, and their bot laners, and the supports. He just wants to go hard constantly. And, sometimes it's worked out for him.
I mean, they're up a game. It's worked out as much as it needed to, I guess. But we do see Lake already level 2 and Holden. Oh no, yeah, just having a bad time. Does have the unsealed spellbook instead of having Conqueror. So not
Wukong
gonna
down here
have
very
oh my
early.
God. Oh my
Rubius is
God.
looking for this, but does not have a whole bunch. The exhaust
Yeah.
coming out super early too. I don't think that was necessary.
Maybe not necessary, but they wanted to make sure Learning and Crit were able to stay safe, and that at least does the job, prevents that early lead from ever occurring. We do get Lake getting chunked into the tower. He's used to that at this point. The never move being used there by Kush. Landrin is going to be able to get the permafrost, and it's basically an even trade. Kush is not able to proc the Conqueror procs, so they're both low. They're both almost out of mana.
We're gonna see some jungle fight in here. Swagasm is up an entire level.
Yeah, and is not likely to have some help from the top laner as well.
Smites
Looks
away the
like
Gromp. Looks like
Holden
he'll
is-
get away.
Yeah, Holden trapped under tower, and they. Yep, nope, never mind. Is going to be able to get away. Holden trapped under tower, not able to do anything on this Singed. This might be a piloter matchup more than a champion matchup. It's looking like.
Yeah, and I just want to call attention to the fact that Wukong currently the lowest XP level in the game.
Yeah, basically lost a large chunk of the top side of the map because of that early gank into the bottom side. And like you said, not in the game already. May come back in the game, but Learning just barely does not kill Fun Phoenix. Fun Phoenix able to stay alive with the shield plus some extra fun. We do see Holden able to get a nice little toss onto Lake. Lake is going to run away, be perfectly fine, get a little bit of burn, but nothing too major here.
Yeah, the Hextech shield is such a boon for Lake here in these trades because it does survive the fling, which means that all of that poison chip damage just doesn't stick.
Yeah, just not fun. We do see the dash. It looks like it's going to be Swagasm coming through as well. No flash used by Holden, though. Holden able to stay alive, able to get the wave to almost crash. But one of the things that I've kind
Fun
of
Phoenix
tried
in
to
trouble.
mention-
Fun Phoenix is dead.
Yeah, Lucianami do Lucianami things. You stepped up too far with less than 100% health, and you're dead.
Yeah, not fun for Fun Phoenix there, and not a whole lot that Sliasin could do but watch on as his ADC fell.
Yes, very accurate. That's it. We do see Nerubius is at least level 4 now. Still significantly behind Swagasm, but Swagasm has him back. So in
Learning
terms
could
of
be in
functional
trouble here, a
ability,
little bit far up.
does get exhausted, does get all the things hit onto them, and that is going to be the flash and a very, very nice bubble from Crit, flash from Learning, and that is going to be the bot lane of Spectre Gaming surviving just fine.
Yeah, and that's just a good outplay there from Crit, putting the bubble down right on top of himself.
Holden tossed, but not quite in tower range. So now just has to sit here and watch as this wave comes back. Is already down 20 CS.
Not fun.
Not, I imagine not how Holden saw this go in their head.
No, Holden does have a significant mana lead at the moment. So if level 6 gets hit by the Singed, this could be a chance at a turnaround. Looking for the fling, does find it, root underneath the turret, and Camille is grounded. That's another turret shot.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Very well done by Holden. Is not going to chase the rest of the kill, but is going to allow for a reacquiring of lane priority. Going to be able to at least touch this wave, and probably the next is Lake is going to likely teleport back into lane. But yeah, very well done there by Holden, getting the fling onto the root, preventing that dash. I think Lake is actually no, the fling makes the root ground happen. I was going to say
the grounding happens anyway. The root does not.
But because he was flung onto it, it makes it stay there.
Correct.
because I was like, I think you don't, as long as you don't try to dash, but that's actually not true if you're tossed onto it. But we do see Crit and Swagasm headed bot lane. Slicing going to use the flash, trying to get away. We do get the polymorph as well. That is going to be a lot of damage on the Swagasm, but it's not going to matter. Learning is able to get the kill. Slicing going down. Just not a fun time there for that bot lane. That's going to be 2 kills on the Lucian, already super strong. And we see Nerbius trying to just hold a wave in the mid lane, but it's going to be a tower plate coming over to Kush. Almost gets the never move to hit. Just, ooh.
If
Oh
that
my
never move
gosh.
had hit, that would be a kill.
Yeah, no. Oh, no.
But I do want to go back to that bot fight, though. Sliacin forced to flash very, very early because of the exhaust coming out of learning. The moment that he flashed and Crit was still in the area was the moment that his fate was sealed, because the bubble was still available. And this is an
Very much
Aphelios
true.
who doesn't have a Gale Force, whose Lulu was way behind him. There was no way for him to avoid that bubble the moment it came out. So his fate was sealed, and Fun Phoenix should have just given up on the Aphelios.
Double true, very true. But also, with the pillar having not being used, there was actively nowhere that Sliacin could possibly have gone that would have kept them alive or even got them back into tower range.
Absolutely.
That said, Fun Phoenix did do a nice job getting that polymorph. Oh my god. We do see Sliacin getting a little bit of return, but yeah, this Lucian Nami is doing
Captain
super
Holden.
amounts of work. Holden is able to stay alive. That is going to be the flash out from Lake. Lake is not going to be able to get the kill, but Holden is literally one tactical sweep away, and we do have Swagasm coming up there to the top lane, but it is going to be the dragon in return for PUDS. They are at least going to be able to take something in return for that action on the wrong side of the map, but that is a teleport used and then having to back a minute later. Not ideal for Captain Holden.
No, not ideal for Holden. However, the early Infernal is nice. We have seen these games mostly going fairly late here, so Drake stacking has been relevant, has been important. Getting the early Infernal puts them on pace to whatever souls they could be facing here.
That is true, but we do also have a plate going over to Lake. Looks like it's going
Kush
to
is
be
in
Rift Herald
trouble.
going through. Ooh, Kush is dead. That is very nice wall hump there from Nerubius, along with the Cyclone, able to get the knockups, plus the Glacial Prison, and it's going to be a kill. We do at least see the Wukong getting on the board, had a couple of failed ganks going early down there in the bot lane, but able to recover at least enough to make a difference.
Yeah, does make a difference, does get some extra gold back in the pockets of Lantern, however, is still down a significant amount of CS. And in fact, the gold chart tells the story here. All 4 major members of Spectre are above every one of the members of the Ducks. The only person who has less gold than a member of the Ducks is, of course, Crit. But when every member on the field has more gold than you, it's tough for the Ducks to try and find ways to win and get back in this game.
I do want to say, for Nerubius being behind, Nerubius has the most gold on the Ducks. That's not a good sign, right? Like I'm not reading that badly. We do get some nice action in the mid lane, forcing out the ult there. Landrin, Kush having to use everything. Kush trying to get away, is going to survive. Demon Flare not going to get enough done.
Forget trying to get away. Kush was looking for the kill there.
Yeah. It turned it real quick. Call an ambulance, but not for me. I have my ultimate. But not going to die. We do see Holden again, just tossing Lake into the tower shots. Come on, man. Why go back in? Oh, because Swagasm is here. You go back
Kush
in because
may be
you're
in
waiting
trouble.
for it.
Nerubius is in the mid lane again.
Yeah, Nerubius is in the mid lane. Kush is able to get away. Holden is able to hold this top lane. There is going to be the Rift Herald here, and that is going to be the ultimate being used there from... Oh, Lake barely able to escape. Swagasm is going to take a tower shot, is going to take another tower shot as well, is going to get away. That is going to be the Subjugate able to basically steal the stats that would have saved Holden. And we
Holden
do see Landon now
survived.
teleporting.
Holden did not die.
Oh, shit.
The Flash Chomp did not kill Holden.
Oh, man. Yeah. How? What?
Landrin,
that and
though,
the subjugate.
Landrin cannot be there.
Going in, that is going to be the ultimate. Landrin might be dead, is going to be dead. That's going to be the Hextech Ultimatum, and Lake and Swagasm collaborate for the kill there. Fun Phoenix is a level up on crit, though. That is something. But yeah, I'm not sure how Landrin, or how Holden survived there. I thought the final tick of the subjugate was going to be enough, but was not with the flash bite, which...
Interesting
I'm
double
surprised.
whiffed ultimates in the bot
Yes.
lane. Props to Sliason and Crit for both missing multiple targets there. That's almost more impressive than hitting the targets.
You have to work on that, though.
Absolutely. It's like
I
a multiple
think it
choice
was-
test. You'll get it right occasionally, so getting them all
I think
wrong
it was
is...
more of a. I think it was more of a hat tip. So like Crit missed, and then Sliason was like,
Oh, Kush is in
"I
trouble
appreciate
again.
it." But
Swagasm
does have
is
the
here.
demonic ascension. And yeah, there is Swagasm as well. Nerbius is in trouble. Nerubius. Too many vowels hanging around, and that's going to be a tick.
The never
and a
move hits
kill.
again.
Oh no!
But here's Captain
Oh.
Holden on the backside. This could be problematic for the Spectre guys.
Landrin is going to maybe survive. They see him though. They see Holden. Holden is trying to get on the Swagasm. Is going to toss him over. Is going to get the kill with the ignite.
Ebb and flow
From-
just a
nope.
second too late.
Wasn't the ignite?
Yes,
Oh,
it was. He
it's-
has Unsealed Spellbook.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. I even called it out and then forgot that fast because I was like, he's ticking down, but why? But how? What is this?
Black magic.
Yeah, but
Lake
Holden
could be
able
in
to
trouble
get the kill.
again. Does
Lake
get away
is
from
gonna
the
dash
ground.
away.
Gets away
we
from the
do
ground,
see-
but tried to walk back into it for a second. I don't know if you noticed that.
That he just. I mean, there's playing on the edge, and then there's playing on the edge's edge. I think that's where-
Lake. Lake is in trouble here. Lake has taken 4 turret shots now in this engage. Is down under 200 health. Flashes forward with the last precision protocol.
Does he? And he lives. He lives. On the
Rod,
edge's
what am I
edge.
watching?
On the edge's edge. It doesn't have to make sense. It feels truthy. Living on the edge's edge.
Learning and Crit do not know that they're being ganked here. Sliason with the ultimate will get 2 roots. The tidal wave
Okay.
will buy enough space though. So no deaths
Yeah.
in this bot lane.
Nothing going to be gotten except that tower in the top side because Lake just stayed with 200 health and took it because Lake style, baby.
This will likely be a Drake take. Swagasm does not have the flash, so can't really get into this pit, short of just kamikazing in, which it looks like he's going to do here. Looking
That
for
is
the
gonna be
smite
the-
seal.
Ooh.
Going in.
That is going to be the
Does not
but
get
it's
it.
used on the crit. Yeah, it's going to be Nerubius taking it down. It's going to be Fun Phoenix on the backside, going down to Learning, but in the middle, Swagasm going to live long enough to let Kush take down 2 members, and now it is the other 4 chasing down Landon. Is going to be Learning on a killing spree. A 3-4 for nothing for Spectre. But they did lose a dragon.
They lost
They
the
lose a
dragon. However, that's the Swain Fed. That's the Trundle Fed. That's the Lucian Fed. This is the problem here. Is we look at the gold gap once again. Look at how much of a gap there is between Captain Holden, who is the highest member on the side of the Ducks, and everyone on the side of Spectre. Just so much gold in favor of these Spectre players that it becomes almost impossible for any of these members of the Ducks to try and fight back.
That is very
Sliason.
true, and Sliason is caught out.
There is a Trundle in your lane, my friend. You do not get to live.
Learning is just tanking the tower as long as possible. Swagasm is going to be able to get the kill and is going to be fine. Sliason, what a good teammate. They are double teaming on Lake. Almost looks like a triple team with the...
Decoy.
Yeah, the decoy. I was going to say the jutsu, but, you know, your way is actually accurate. But going to be at least some gold gotten back. Shutdown goal going on to the Wukong. Wukong is 2-2-0 on a team with 3 kills. That would be okay if the other team didn't have 10. And the ebb and flow plus the bubble actually does a stupid amount of damage to Nerubius.
Yeah, it turns out Imperial Mandate as an item kinda needs a nerf, not just because of Ash.
Lake is teleporting into bot lane and looking to... Yeah, Landrin said, I want no parts of that. Not a single part of it. Not a piece, not a chunk. Don't cut me a slice, not a sliver. I'm just gonna walk away. But we do see a press going down here in the mid lane for Spectre Gaming, looking to maybe use that pressure to get onto this Rift Herald here. Having had crit force out the jungler. Oh man. PUDS
There's
down
just
7,000 gold at 17 minutes.
when you're losing a
Can't-
fight to a support who's 2 levels down on you, how do you come back from that mentally here, Rod? Like what do you say to yourself to make that feel
was
okay?
my question for you. Oh no, Holden. He's fine.
He is level 12.
Is fine, but only by nature of learning is not fully ascended yet to giant problem from minor problem. But could be very shortly.
Speaking of levels, though, Landrin is down 2 levels at the moment. He's only level 10. Far and away the lowest solo laner in the game. Learning is in trouble, gets
Ooh.
2 turret shots, and Rubius here will take
Oh,
the
yep.
600 gold shutdown and likely will take down Crit as well.
Is going to do it. Is going to get the double kill. Very nicely done. Very nice use of everything by Captain Holden now. But we do see Landon on the other side having Lake and Swagasm just force him away from the tower. Nothing you can do. There is not going to be a lot of answer here because wherever you put an abnormal, an improper fraction of people, the other side, Spectre is going to take more.
Yeah, and this is looking like Nerubius is going to be the win condition. Sliason too far behind. Landrin on a tank can't do much. Captain Holden, he's a singed. He's going to be annoying, but he's not necessarily going to be the damage threat that the Ducks need. My question is, will Nerubius on the Bruiser Wukong be enough to cut through Kush, to cut through Lake, to cut through Swagasm when it comes to these major fights?
Ooh. I don't think so, but a very nice bubble coming out from Crit. Bubble Flash maybe manages to hit Fun Phoenix, but a dodge out the Glacial Prison. We do see the setup around the Dragon. I think the Dragon is the actual win condition that's going to be available for PUD. They are looking to now position around, but it is going to be the Rift Herald being dropped mid lane from Swagasm, looking to go ahead and get that pressure to force them stay in the mid lane.
I don't think they
not
get the
let them-
charge off here.
Yeah, not
No,
looking
they
like
do.
it.
Okay.
Ooh, how?
Yeah,
It
that
looked like
turret
it was
did go
stunned and
down.
going down. But it is going to be the Dragon uncontested from the looks of things because we do see Holden going back in the top lane. There is some wards though, but yeah,
Bush
no.
looking for the
looks-
cheese here. If Sliason walks up,
I think they're not going to walk up. They don't want it.
no part of that being taken. Sliason a little too
Understandable.
smart.
Understandable on the side of PUDS, but at the same time, Dragon stacking, I think, is the actual win condition they have. And an Ocean Drake on the amount of heal that can come out from literally everyone on the side of Spectre Gaming is further discouraging, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, if Kush gets a Spirit Visage at any point, he becomes untouchable. Between
That
the
is-
Ocean
yes.
Drake, with the Ocean Drake, with the Demonic Ascension, his health bar will just continue to climb no matter how much damage, you pump into him.
I 100% agree. And on top of which, it would allow him to negate Holden's damage, most of Landrin's damage, if we're being honest. So yeah, basically makes your 2 solo laners damage.
Inconsequential. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very worrying. But with that time, we have a little bit of a pause in the action. Every time I say that, a fight breaks out. I've noticed.
No. We
But we
got 20 seconds here as they walk back to lane.
Exactly. Unless. But we do have Divine Sunderers coming through for the top laner and jungle on Spectre Gaming. They've already came through. They've been here for a while. We just haven't had a chance to talk about them. We have the Sunderer as well. For Nerubius, it is going to be also the Hydra items, Ravenous and Titanic, whereas Nerubius does not have that extra item to keep up. We have the Ral Eyes for Holden. There is a Frostfire Gauntlet that Landon has to make movement even more annoying for everybody else. and the Gale Force for Sliason. There's also Holden is going to get aggressed on by Lake. Yeah, I can't get through it all fast enough. I'm just not that quick. But going to be a blue buff taken for these. Oh, it looks like Swag wound up getting it instead of Kush, but that is fine. It is prevented from going over to anyone on the side of PUDS, and now PUDS has to walk around the long way to get back access to that mid lane wave. Captain Holden also getting pushed in by Lake. There's just a lack of an ability to put any lane pressure down. Lake, dog.
Lake completely fearless here. Might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Is the precision protocol going to come through in time? Flashing away will get the kill. Does he burn down? Yes, he does.
So, very nice fling. Very nice everything from Holden. However, he kind of stopped moving. Did he get stunned into the wall of precision protocol maybe? Is that what happened? But the Baron being started here by Spectre. Kush running interference, but it looks like they are going to be forced off. Swagasm is super low. We do see the demonic ascension being used. That is going to be Nerubius onto the back line, using the cyclone, but it doesn't matter. Going down, just popping, and that is going to be the Baron started again. Landrin this time needs to turn into Dolph Lundgren. Needs to do something, because we do see Holden coming in, is going to get the root on, is going to go through, and that's going to be the Glacial Prison used on the crit. Crit is going to go down. We do see Holden now trying to chase down Learning. Learning is going to run away, but is not going to go down, not going to get the kill either. It's going to be Kush finally able to take down Captain Holden. Holden, though, did enough work that there's enough people low. It doesn't look like the Baron is going to be started, or at least finished, I should say, by Spectre Gaming.
Baron may not get finished, but still, it's another fight that just makes it feel bad for the Ducks. You know, you just can't quite get what you want.
Lake thought they had the little bit of an advantage there, and then it was the Rubius literally coming from off screen to dash onto the Gromp there, and Lake was like, oh, I didn't realize you had a friend here with you. Let me walk away.
Maybe I should not quite be there.
Landrin was in trouble at the time, but we have Nerubius on the wrong side of the map and spotted out, which is going to allow all of this dragon pressure coming through from Spectre Gaming, knowing that the jungler is not on this side of the map, and even if they had backed immediately, would just now be getting here, means they are able to take in the whole basically bot side jungle. Oh no.
Oh,
they are
no,
literally
indeed.
unspotted.
Sliason could be in trouble here. We'll be the first to walk over.
Landrin actually aggresses onto Learning, able to force Learning out of the lane, which is going to be actually the best action, going to keep as many human ducks safe. Human ducks.
Human ducks.
Huh. Don't look that up. It's totally a taxonomical thing. Human ducks. I seen it. But that said, it looks like it's going to be the Dragon still going to be able to go over Spectre Gaming. Spectre Gaming basically, like I said, took over the bottom side of the map and said, I dare you to walk in, and almost were able to catch three members absolutely slipping on the side of PUDS. It's going to be now the second Dragon, second Ocean Drake as well. That is just not good.
No, again, it's hard at this point for
more healing on a Swain, more healing on the Camille, more healing on whoever crit decides to heal, more healing on the Trundle. Those are the things you don't want. That is going to be a tower taken by Sliason, but
Sliason is dead.
Yeah, I don't think you get to survive. You better run under the tower. Actually, just kind of trying to hope somebody comes over and chases them so that they don't get this Baron. Lake on the other side, though, doing the same thing, basically. We do see Holden running very fast, trying to keep Lake here for Nerubius to do the damage. It is going to be the damage. Nerubius is going to be able to take down Lake. Sliason is going to live. The Baron is going to go down. I think Spectre Gaming takes that.
Yeah, they take that any day of the week.
Sliason escapes, though.
Sliason does escape, but at the cost of the Baron.
And they get a tower. They get two towers. 2 towers, a kill. for a Baron, not good, but way, way better than that looked like it was going to be at the start. I'm trying to find moral victories here because I don't know what's available for PUDS at this point in the game. I don't know where the actual win comes from.
It's hard. At this point, Landrin 3,000 gold down on his opponent. Captain Holden down just under 1,000. Nerubius down 2,000 as well. Sliason, Sliason's pretty close. Sliason's only about a couple hundred gold down, but not a single member of this Ducks team is managing to keep parity. And that makes it so difficult to find fights, except when Lake decides to overextend for the 5th time in a row.
That is super fair. So, like, the thing is, the items that Holden and Landrin require to be functional are technically cheaper, but they're cheaper because they don't do hurt. Like, that's they do anti-hurt, which is the best way I've ever heard it put.
Shirelia's is popped here. Ducks are looking for an engage.
They do back off, it looks like. Wanted to go on the Kush, did get the sticky adhesive, and then said, you know, on second thought, this is not the move. Holden is able to live, is going to get the flip onto Swagasm. Swagasm still trying to get away. That's going to be the Glacial Prison used. Nerubius is just going to... Oh, that is a clone. Very nicely done. That clone's tricked me.
You know it's a good clone when the clone does the tricking, even to the spectators here. However, it is still going to be the inhibitor turret going down. There's just not enough in the tank for the Ducks here.
That was a 4v5.
That's a 4v5. Yeah, Lake is still on the other side of the map here. Ultimate coming out of Felios. Not going to be enough.
They can't get access to anyone in a 4v5 with Singe Sejuani. Singe Sejuani, Wukong.
Swagasm is going to die here unless he can flash out. Does flash out. Is there enough burn? Looks like no.
Yeah,
Swagasm survives.
That was interesting because I thought Holden was between him and the wall. He should not have been able to flash over that wall if my understanding of wall flashes is correct. But
see, here's the thing. Even Riot doesn't understand how wall flashes work. Nerubi is taking a lot of damage there. Face checked into a learning.
Yeah, into a learning crit and learned that crits hurt. That's deep. But Nerubius is going to be okay. Fun Phoenix did get a shield on him in time to make sure that there was no extra death, but there is an inhibitor down in the mid lane for PUDS and an 8,000 gold down in the stat line, which is probably the bigger problem right now. When does Aphelios start doing things?
In theory, at 2 items, Sliason should be problematic. In practice, he just walked into Lake and now gets to die or come very close.
Oh, nope. Is going to not die. And actually, there's a lot of damage being used on the Lake, but Sliason is still in the bad place. Lake is going to get stunned, is ignited.
That's a huge shield. Is that going to be enough?
Christ.
Captain Holden gets the flash flip. The Guardian's Angel is going to be popped, so Lake is going to fall here eventually.
Maybe?
However, that's a 3rd Drake. That's a 3rd Ocean Drake for the side of Spectre. They are okay with letting Lake die repeatedly if they continue to get presence on the map elsewhere. They are close to a 4 Ocean Drake soul, Rod.
Not only that, think about how hard it was to kill Lake. Now imagine how hard it's going to be to try to kill Lake with 4 Ocean Drake Soul. You just had to use 3 ults?
3 ults and Holden's Flash and Fun Phoenix's heal and Sliason's Exhaust. That's an expensive kill. On a person who isn't even the threat.
Except next time he's going to heal more. So, like, even with the shield, it's going to be the shield plus, like, 20 to 40 more health than he had there. I don't like this.
I will say, there's still a win condition. Crit is the lowest level in the game. The Ducks still have a chance.
They are trying to get on the Swagasm. Swagasm, of course, just moves way too fast between the Nami and the frozen terrain, frozen tundra terrain, frozen
Frozen
domain.
Domain.
There we
Yes.
go.
Sorry, I had to think about it too.
All right. Yeah, but too fast to be caught, too fast to be hurt. Swagasm on to Holden. Holden is going to be okay. That's going to be the Glacial Prison used. The Glacial Prison is going to miss. Swagasm had a very good defense attorney. Just gets off on time served. Going to walk back down to the bot lane. Going to apply more pressure. And that is going to be Slicing. Oh my god, that shield is really big. This is a really, really big shield, but it is on you and not on the tower. The tower is going to go down, and we still have Lake on the other side of the map, still pressuring that side lane. Just not worried.
Not
I
worried.
will.
And he knows his team wins the 4v4, so he can just go ahead and pressure here, try and drag a second or even third person over, make this bot fight completely free for his team.
That is very accurate. On top of which, the supers are going to be crashing soon. Waves not quite synced, but I don't think it's going to matter because that's going to be the tower going down. Learning is tanking, but it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Holden just does not do enough damage to Lake at this point. Lake is able to take down the tower as well and is now going to try to fight Holden. Not really worried about it, but that is a fantastic tidal wave, able to take down one. Might be two. That's going to be two. Kush is going to go unstoppables as he takes down Slice, and that is going to be three. Nerubius is going to go down. Double kill for Learning is going to survive. Swagasm keeps him alive, and Captain Holden's the only one alive. I'm gonna need to see those crazy Singe plays. I'm not gonna see those crazy Singe plays. And just like that, Spectre Gaming is your season 13 Black Twitch League champions.
And they didn't leave any doubt in that last game that they were the ones who deserved this. Good grief, Rod.
They escalated again. They escalated all series. It has been, there's a thing. Okay, let's take it up a notch. Okay, let's take it up a notch. Oh, hang on. I think I got one more. That's cool. I got one more too, bro. I loved it. Loved it. That said, Slicing did a chunk of damage. Did a ton of damage.
Yeah,
We've kind of
nearly
seen that
out-damaged Lake here.
We've kind of seen that a lot from PUDS, where there was a lot of damage being dealt by who you want the damage to be dealt by, but it wasn't enough. Which is unfortunate. And they had a great run, but Spectre Gaming came through, killed everybody, laughed about it later. They can laugh about it now. They don't have to wait till later.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of laughing, I have to ask you, for the very last time this season, who is your player of the match?
Well, I was thinking somewhere between Learning and Kush, but from the chat, it looks like Learning is already getting more than enough love. So it might be Kush, but what's your opinion on it? Because it was great performances from everyone except for Lake, and I feel bad scuffing Lake's name just a little bit more as we.
No. Lake did his job. Lake's job was to absorb pressure. That's not an MVP performance, but that's a winning performance. That's what he needed to do.
That is what I was going to say, especially in that last game where you have to send 3 and 4 people to kill Lake while your team takes Baron, while your team takes Dragon, while your team takes both. Did the job. Sometimes the job isn't pretty, but I agree. Also, not an MVP performance. Where are you thinking the MVP lies?
I think I would tend to give it to Kush. I think he did a great job of adjusting to Captain Holden in Game 3. I think that was the point where this turned from a blow-for-blow match to a Spectre takes the cake match. So I think I lean towards Kush here.
I am 100% inclined to agree.
I will see if he's willing to chat with us here for the final interview of the BTL Season 13. In the meantime, though, I just want to say thank you to all of our fans, all of our players, and all the folks behind the scenes who helped make sure that things went great, all the folks who were able to cast for us this season. A lot of them worked with me. Had a lovely, lovely time with so many of them. Was truly, truly great to get to work with so many incredible, incredible folks.
100% agree. Thank you to everyone for playing, for watching, for just enjoying this community this season, and uh, honestly, one of the least issue filled seasons I think I've seen. Everything was pretty chill, unless I dodged all the drama, in which case, don't break my illusion.
Yeah, looks like we're going to step aside for just a moment here as we get the interview sorted out. However, when we come back, an interview with one of the members of the victorious Season 13 champion, Spectre Gaming. So don't go anywhere. You'll get to hear from the champs right after this. One.
We are here with Spectre Gaming, who taking a break. We're here with everyone, not just the MVP, but with everyone. They've taken a break from popping bottles like they won a championship game because they won a championship game to tell us about winning the championship game.
Anybody else, dude?
Woo!
We're out here. We just,
We
I don't
won.
know. We kept it together. Twitch was insane, by the way. I don't know what's going on with that, but if they kept picking Twitch, my brain would have imploded. You have no idea.
Shout outs to my strong mental mid laner.
I
Holding it
definitely
down
didn't-
for sure.
Definitely didn't tilt.
Zero
I don't
tilt
know.
whatsoever after second game. Nobody was mad.
Definitely
100%.
didn't have a mental collapse.
There
in the
was no
comms.
collapsing in this series at all.
Really
That's the
gotta say
best
that's
part about
good,
it.
yeah. Biggest
That
strength
is-
of our team, honestly.
That is very good to hear, because there were a few moments where I personally wanted to flip my desk, and I wasn't even playing. One of them was indeed the Twitch, who was invisible in the middle of your lane, and you were just like, to my
Yeah.
and I'm dead.
Yeah, I immediately blamed my jungler, and then I perma-muted the rest of the game, so that was just unlucky, I guess.
That's
But-
the only way to play that.
That's what I'm saying, man. They just should have kept with the Twitch. We would have gotten destroyed. Our mentals are too fragile.
Even
We're
after
the
game 3, even
Strongest
with the
mental
turn.
team.
With the
Yeah,
Taliyah game
yeah.
3, you think the Twitch, if they'd come back with a game 4, you think you guys would have been shattered?
Maybe. I mean, that's why we didn't pick mid until the very last pick. We were just daring him to pick Twitch, and then I was just gonna slam Zed or something to try to ego him, but yeah, it didn't work out. Yo, what about my jungler though? My jungler, he was a Hecarim slave all fucking 4
You guys
games.
didn't choose
I
Swagazm as the
Just-
MVP of the series.
He was
Swagazm
definitely
was 100% the
he,
MVP.
for the first time ever, he just picked the junglers we told him to play, and he went crazy.
He decided for the first time this whole season to play well.
Oh no! Oh no! Hang on. That's a great segue here to things that happened for the first time this season. So, is Lake available, or is Lake still
I'm
taking
here.
tower shots?
Wait, you see, we tactically ignored towers because we had to pad our stats. We
Yeah,
had to make
we-
his KDA look a
we
little.
paid off the towers before the game, so it didn't matter.
Mhm.
That,
I had to give them a few
that
kisses.
has to be it. Oh my god, yo, oh my god, you ever see like the image? I'm trying to think of, but like the no diving sign where the person's diving into a 3-foot pool and they're breaking their neck. That was you.
My whole team was chasing Singed religiously. I don't know what was
Where?
happening,
What do you mean?
but my team just got dude, Alex, he was just, I'm gonna get Singed, chasing him into the poison. I just don't know why.
They just wanted to give us more content. They wanted Game 5.
Okay,
bit of
so
a right
this
clicker, Andy.
entire season, I've been trying to convince my team to pick me Kog'Maw mid. We scrimmed it before finals, and they didn't pick me Kog'Maw mid. Isn't that insane? Where's the content?
You never
Where's the
asked
love for
for
the
it.
game?
You
Where's
never
the love
once
of the
asked for it. in
Where's the
draft.
love of the game, huh?
That has to be the Game 5 strategy, right? That was
Yeah, I
what that
don't
was
know.
It
what
would
you
have
were,
definitely come out game 5.
that was what you were holding in your back pocket.
No, they would have told me I could have played a game 5, and then it's been like 4 series that I've been told I can play Kog'Maw mid.
You
It's
got a
insane.
scrim.
It would be on brand. We did kind of just randomly slam a Katarina last game, and
We did do
You
that.
did ego a Katarina.
We did randomly slam Katarina.
our mid laner did say, "I want a Kali," and then our drafter did just randomly pick pick Katarina for some reason. That
It's
did
the same
impact
champ.
her.
Yeah, true.
Same but different, but same.
Yeah, so I think the overall strategy, we just closed our eyes, drafted things, and it just went well.
Yeah, you know, it worked. So, I think we touched everybody except the bot lane, who, if anybody, should have tilted after game 2.
Would have been
Yo.
y'all.
Yeah. Do y'all hate them? Did y'all missing ping the Twitch? Anything?
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, there's
Trust me.
mid laner
We have,
definitely did full mute after.
We have
he
about a
ran bot and got
full
double
season
kill.
of our mid and jungle ignoring bot entirely. They don't really know it exists. So
Yeah, we made the
we're pretty
mistake
used to it, honestly.
of picking
Wait,
the winning
you're-
lane.
I don't think
to-
I've heard his voice before. You're on my team? That's crazy.
yeah,
There
yeah,
is.
yeah. There it is.
It's,
No,
I
we have
mean, how
an
could I not
ironclad
be-
mental in the bot lane.
Yeah.
How could I not
We
be
suffered
on the
worse.
lake?
We
We've
all
been
have
through the
great
trenches down
mentals,
there.
except for a certain person.
Oh no.
It's my jungler, dude. This guy's insane.
I was living by the lake all series long. I was
Mhm.
enjoying my time. I was
Yeah.
Thanosing just on the side of the lake.
So
Only to come to find out our team was 0-8 in the bot lane.
So no,
That's
the
tragic.
first 2 games, literally, bot lane was having like the roughest time, and we were like, "Okay, jungler's gonna." He stopped.
Yeah.
He
We
stopped.
were balling.
That
We
was-
even looked. We were like, even though we were 10-1, we were down 1k gold.
Yes.
But apparently, the mental damage was way more than what was shown on the gold graph.
Yeah, the mental lead was bigger than the gold lead that game for sure.
Yes, but the Fed Jinx.
We have a
Hey,
Fed
he just
Jinx in one of the
right-clicked.
games.
Anyone could have had a script, just right click on characters, and it would have performed just as well.
The ADC disrespect. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm used to it.
welcome to our team. It was fun.
I'm
Say
used
in
to
lane.
it.
He did
It
say
is what
in
it is.
lane. Oh, I thought I was Nami. One game.
We've been trying to get through.
I
We've been
don't
trying to get
think
through a
he's all
season.
there.
We've been trying to get through a series all season where we just don't flame each other and it just doesn't work.
We tried real hard this time,
It
100%.
didn't work at all.
There's no way you guys are trying hard.
We came in saying no flame, no tilt, and it went just as planned.
All right.
So,
Speaking of plans here,
Aulz-
last
Yeah.
question here before we let you guys and our viewers go, since this was a long 4 games match. Speaking of plans, are y'all running it back for season 14?
Good question.
I might be role swapping because jungle is the most unplayable, awful role in the game.
We have
I don't
5
think
off-rolled
pets-
players right
I
now.
don't think pets can
We
save.
do have 5
jungle.
off-roll players. That's true.
We might be
Yeah.
completely changing the rules on our
And-
team.
An iteration of Spectre Gaming will be playing next season.
So y'all are
It's
telling
okay.
me that y'all won BTL on Penta off-roll.
We have
Yeah.
ADC
Yeah,
off-roll,
yeah.
support off-roll, mid off-roll. Our top laner started playing the game last month, and our jungler is having an identity crisis and dropped 300 LP in last week.
This guy's playing Lux.
So-
I don't know.
Yeah,
Jungle is not playable. Delete the
Right.
role. Delete the role from the game.
we're doing it.
Yeah, we will be returning with a different
Some-
roster. Some of us in
some-
different roles again. But yeah.
We'll be here.
Yeah,
We'll be here to
well,
win it all.
In some form.
We
well,
got the ragtag content team coming in hot.
yeah, in whatever form, it has been a pleasure to watch you guys and every team this season of BTL. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. However, that being said, I do think that's going to be the end for us this evening. Thank you to everyone who has stuck around and continued to watch throughout the season. Thank you to our players for coming out each week and giving us some fabulous games to watch. And once again, thank you to all of our content staff for making sure that you guys at home get the best experience possible. I have been Aulz for myself, for Rodney, for everyone here at BTL. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for making this season as much of a success as it has been, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everyone.
Good night.